Come on now. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz. We got boy Jay McLevin, temporary host. You got your actual host, Chris Gonzo Gonzalez, taking phone calls because he's like the damn president of the United States or something. And then you got your boy, none other than Pride, out there moving school buses like he's yard master. What's up, Pride?
I'm just disappointed, Chris. Where's the professionalism? This is insane. I need professionalism to counterbalance my unprofessionalism. Because I'm pretty sure in like 20 minutes I'm going to drop an F-bomb.
Yeah, I kind of figured in this realm of podcasting group that we have, it starts out with the professional to the left of me. And it's actually weird how it's in progression because it goes most professional, middle professional, down to damn near least professional.
Hey, how are you?
When I use the word middle professional, I use it extremely loosely because I feel like Pride, I'm almost like a blended version of middle professional to least professional. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
You're a blend. I'm full blown unprofessional. I'm owning it.
Hey, the only thing that would make this perfect is if Frankie was on the board, and then I could say no professional. It would be beautiful. God, what a time to be alive. Let me ask you a question. Pride, I don't know if you're following the World Baseball Classic. I caught the first game for the US of A. You know, they kind of got off to a rough start against Great Britain, and then they kind of brought themselves back to life, and then they exploded. You know, Arenado had a great day. Kyle Tucker, put a couple of nice hits in there. And then I was like, okay, this is USA Baseball. We're back. We're good. Because quite honestly, and I know Great Britain is, well, let's just say middle of the run garbage. Honestly, if you look at all the teams that are out there, they're middle of the run, maybe even below middle of the run, right?
Respectfully, yes.
And then I'm sitting at Pride. I'm sitting there and I'm telling myself, good God, man, we're like the Team USA. We got Mike Trouts, we got the Mookie Betts. I mean, we got all these great players, and here we are. We're coming off slow as shit. Now, Pride. I said to myself, I kind of fell asleep, but I wasn't really too upset because, the Mexico and USA game came on at 10. I knew I wasn't going to make it to 10. Pride, I was faded as hell, man. I said, but it's no big deal, Pride. I say, you know what, man? Hey, look, I know Mexico's got some players. I'm not saying they don't, but I still felt pretty confident that the US of A was going to pull it out and that I would wake up this morning and I would say 2-0, and we're just cooking. We're cooking. We're moving right along. Well, that wasn't the case, Pride. When I woke up this morning, the son of a bitch said 1-1 in their standings. Mm-hmm. And I said, we lost to fucking Mexico. Pride, we lost to Mexico, Pride.
Yes, you guys did. You guys lost to Mexico.
I love how you say
you guys lost to Mexico.
You're out there in South Carolina. I understand you're Dominican, but damn it, can't you show some USA love? I mean, no, Pride. Do you consider yourself Dominican or American, or do you consider yourself Dominican American?
I call myself, I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. So I'm a Puerto Rican Dominican American.
I didn't realize you're half Puerto Rican?
Huh. Yeah.
Brother, I thought you were full on 100% DR.
No, sir. I'm not that cool. Jay, can you give me 1 second? You heard Jay? Give me 1 second.
Okay, no, you're good, man. But hey, back while Pride is over there moving this ginormous school bus around the yard, he says he can do it in a minute. By the way, I am timing that, so it's now 1:20. We'll see if at 1:21 and a half if Pride is back. If he is, I will tell you this: that son of a bitch needs to leave the school system and go straight down to the metro and start driving a metro school bus. If that's the case. But Gonzo, I was just, we kind of opened up the show. I was talking about how I went to bed last night because I was kind of faded out a little bit. But I knew that the USA was playing Mexico at 10, but I felt confident that, even though I know Mexico is a good team, that the US of A would take the win. And I would wake up this morning 2-0, and we'll just pick back up where we left off. But Gonzo, when I woke up this morning, it wasn't 2-0. It was 1-1, which means we lost to freaking Mexico. Did you see it coming, Gonzo? How were you surprised that I don't know if you caught the game or not, but
what's wrong with losing to Mexico? Damn it!
There's nothing. Well, no, there's everything wrong with losing to Mexico. If you're an American citizen, you want to win. I want to be undefeated, Gonzo. And listen, I have nothing wrong with the Mexican citizens. I dated a Mexican. I love the Mexicans. I love their food. I'm all about the Tex-Mex. I'm all about the fajita, the chalupa, the tostada. I'm all about that.
Hey, Chris, I'm not racist. My best friend is black.
No, it was different. I married into that culture. Which means I have nothing but love. Nothing but love.
No,
but at the same time, my loyalty ends at the border when it comes down to US of A playing Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. I want that win.
No, I turned the game on. I was busy and forgot it started. When I turned it on, it was in the 5th inning, and they were down 7-1. And I know end up losing like 10-5, 12-5, but going into like the 6th or 7th inning, the United States only had 4 hits the whole game. I think in the 8th inning, they scored some runs there toward the end, but they didn't hit the ball. Mexico's pitchers were able to control the game, and then our pitchers gave up hits. We looked pretty good against Great Britain, but maybe I guess some of that could have been the competition. Maybe Mexico is a little stiffer than competition what Great Britain is.
I mean, hell, if you're losing, listen, I guess I didn't get the score either, but if you're losing by that many runs, or if it's 7-1 in the 5th or 6th inning, that's a double-sided, right? That's no hitting and no pitching. I mean, you're not getting either one.
I mean, respectfully, this is kind of why I have no faith in Team USA.
Right.
It's honestly the pitching. That's honestly, in my opinion, why I kind of don't really put enough stock, because the pitching is just not deep enough, especially with these rules. Yeah. A certain number of, if you have a certain number of pitches, that equates to a certain number of days that you're out. So it's
like little league rules,
right? So it's this awkward situation where it's like you can't really, the pitching just isn't deep enough, and we've seen it. Yeah, and we've seen it here. We've seen it in America. If anyone watches Korean baseball, you've seen it there. Same thing with Japanese baseball. If your pitching is not there, and it doesn't have to be elite, but if your pitching cannot make up for a game or two that your bats aren't connecting, you're screwed. That's just the reality of it, right? Like, I love Mike Trout. I really do. I love Mookie Betts. Love him, right? It's my boy. Feel me? I'll be dapping him up. Okay? I'll tickle him. Okay? Cool. Fuck him, though, because he left Boston. Told you I was going to drop F-bomb. But the reality of the situation is, be honest, who's their best pitcher? Team USA, who's our best pitcher? Adam Wainwright?
Yeah, that was about to say.
Adam Wainwright?
Old ass Adam Wainwright.
I mean, let's be 100% honest here. Pitching wise, Team USA, they're not that deep. They don't have enough where if the bats go cold one day, you're not comfortable like that anymore. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's honestly going to be the Achilles heel of Team USA. Why I don't think they have a legitimate chance. You know, the lack of pitching is going to end up biting them in the rear end real bad.
I mean, bro, if you look at the box score, because I'm kind of going back to see how everybody did. Man, they put up 4 damn runs in the 4th inning. Then they put up 4 more runs in the 8th. I mean, there was 2 different periods of that game where they were just kicking our ass, literally kicking our ass.
Right. And that's the thing too. Is oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say what Frankie's saying. You get 50 plus pitches is 4 days off. That really screws you because like the United States played 3 games in a row in pool play, and then you're go into the tournament bracket. So you got to be careful who you pitch during, how many innings you pitch guys or pitches during pool play. So you can set your rotation up for bracket play when it's elimination.
So would it be safe to say that you think
again,
that the U.S. is sacrificing the game against Mexico to set themselves up for tournament play? Is that how we're looking at this?
I mean, the reality is that might be a thought. That might be a thought. Give me a second.
I mean, that's interesting to me, Chris. You know, and if that's the case, I mean, everybody else has those same issues as we do, right? I mean, they gotta look at their pitching. You know, they're no different than we are, but yet they're not sacrificing on their end. Or is it like Pride said,
they might have more depth
deeper than us?
I'm gonna say they might have more depth at pitching than what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh shoot, here comes Pride's better half. My boy, Mike Hughes. What's up,
Hi,
man?
Mikey, baby.
Hi, Pride.
Mikey, baby. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Mike, let me ask you something. Am I bugging, bro? Team USA's pitches is not that deep. It's kind of at best. I think that's honestly what's going to hamper them the entire way.
Adam Wainwright started the first game, Pride.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if your best pitcher is an old Adam Wainwright, respectfully, an older Adam Wainwright who's not the same, you're hit. They had to leave Singer in there. And I think it was somebody fact check me. Was it the 4th inning? They had to leave Brad Singer yeah, they had to leave him in there. He gave up what, 2 runs? 3 runs?
Mm-hmm.
Like that lets you know, bro. Like the pitching is it's suspect at best. And offensively, they got it. I'm not talking anything offensively, but we all know baseball when it comes to offense is a hard sport. It is a sport where you fail 7 out of 10 times and you're a Hall of Famer. That's how hard it is.
That's true.
Offensively. Yeah. So it comes to a point where it's like I can't with a straight face say, yo, Mookie, you gotta hit 400. Mike Trout, and instead of breaking your forearm, you gotta hit 400, bro. Like let's figure something out. Like I can't expect these guys to really do that and look at my pictures and be like, so yo, Adam, you like 57 years old and you just joined?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are we doing here, bro? But you know, DR, PR, that's my teams.
Do they keep the same pitching rules during the tournament play as they do pool play?
No. The pitch clock and all that is gone, which is like
no, Mike. We're talking about the like
right now, 50, if you pitch 50 or more pitches, you're out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When bracket play starts. Okay.
Yeah, but
I want to say yes. I think that's the thing for the entire baseball classic.
Team USA can't just throw that though. I know Mexico killed them, and I know 11 runs is awful, you know, or 13 or whatever it was. But man, I also know that Javier Assad, who's on the Cubs, who's pitched probably less than 50 innings in his MLB career, threw 3 no-hit innings against Team USA's offense. And it's like, I hear you, like the pitching is awful, but those dudes that you just named, especially Goldie and Arenado and Trout, where the fuck have you guys gone? I'm seeing Pablo.
Well, that's true. No, that's true. No, that's true. But then, you know, you look at Martinez, who started the game and put up a 10-13 ERA. Yeah. And then you got Singer, who's a third pitcher in the game and goes for an 18 ERA. And then you got Bard, somewhere damn near down towards the end of the game, who gives a 54 ERA. I mean, these ERAs are just stupid.
No, yeah, and I hear that. I really do. But I also see, like, against Mexico, have to hit the ball. You have 2 runs going into the 8th. It was all around. Everybody just looked like shit.
But I agree with you, the pitching, because if your pitching gives up a lot of runs, and Mike, look, you're more the baseball guy than I truthfully I am, because I know I played football, I played a little bit of baseball, but not as much as I know you guys have. But, you know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, like, you're right. If your pitching gives up that many runs early on, then is it just me, or does it change the mindset of how the batters approach the plate? Like, are they taking more risks to try to get those hits? Then maybe they'd be more patient if they were down by so much.
I think Mexico and I think Pride can hit on it a lot better than I can, because he's really deep into the World Baseball Classic stuff. But Mexico kind of was like, yo, fuck it, we're here. And I think that was really the attitude. And the US kind of walked in like they were the shit. And I think that was really how it transpired was Mexico had this chip on their shoulder. And to keep it a complete buck, Pride, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have no idea or just correct me in general, because I have no idea where this game was played. All I know is I was up way too late watching it. But Mexico came deep for these dudes. I saw more guys with Mexican jerseys on and, all these Mexican flags flying around rather than seeing Team USA like you did in the first match against Great Britain. So I think what really just transpired for Mexico was everything went right. And these guys really just went out there and they balled out. And Team USA kind of just didn't really give a fuck because they know it's not their last opportunity. If Mexico had lost that game, they wouldn't have been out of the tournament, but it would have been a lot harder to remain in the tournament. So I think that's really, the feelings that Team USA really had was they didn't really give a fuck.
They're playing.
They played the same field. Hey, Mike, they played the same field as they played against Great Britain.
I just didn't know. I didn't know if it was Arizona or Florida. I didn't know where they were.
No, they're out there at Diamondbacks baseball.
Yeah, Arizona at Chase Field.
Okay.
Yeah, but
they go. I think they go to Florida for the next round, right?
I think so.
But I'll tell you, hey, that Arizona ballpark is huge too. I mean, that's a pitcher's ballpark. Honestly.
Yeah. But Mike, another thing that you kind of touched on a little bit, which we got to remember, before they played Team USA, Mexico lost to Colombia in extra innings.
They got fucked up.
I wouldn't say that because they only lost 5-4, and it was a very back and forth close game, right? They lose in extra innings, and I get what you're saying. If they go 0-2, are they eliminated? No. In my eyes, you are. You're eliminated with a lowercase e.
Oh, if you're Mexico, just sure. You know what I mean?
You
like
see
if you're the Dominican Republic, if you're Puerto Rico or the US, it's like, all right, we'll be all right. But it's like if you're Mexico and you're 0-2. And who do you think they'd play in the third? They play I don't even know who they're going to be playing next, but it's valid. You know what I mean? So it's
are you asking who the US is going to play next?
Nah, who Mexico would have played?
Oh,
no,
Mexico.
They play Great Britain
next.
Yeah, they play Great Britain on Tuesday. Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, they should.
Great Britain.
Jesus, Canada beat Great Britain 18-8. Holy crap!
Without Owen Casey.
Yep. And they play them, and then on I think Wednesday, Mexico plays Canada.
So United States plays Canada tonight, right?
They play tonight.
Say that one more time?
United States plays Canada tonight.
Yes.
I'll definitely be watching that game. Oh, wait, by the way, mad props to show you. Tani, he hit the first home run in the baseball classic. That guy just doesn't leave often. Japan beat Australia 7-1. So go back.
Oh, and it was a kind of a crazy weekend in the baseball classic because you had Dominican Republic get beat. You had some of the top teams that everybody thought were the top teams lose a game.
That triggered me. I really triggered me.
Which is really weird because I honestly didn't think the Dominican Republic would lose that game.
All I know is on the 15th, I'm gonna be conflicted because I think that's when plays Puerto Rico. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, bro.
Hey, is that when you go into the closet and you pray to have somebody show you the light?
I'm just gonna you know what I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be the guy that's just clapping the entire game. I'm clapping the entire game. Okay. If Puerto Rico gets a home run, I'm clapping. If DR gets a strikeout, I'm chilling. I'm clapping. Right. I'm not gonna get too high or too low either way, because I can't look my dad in the eye because he doesn't know that I'm still alive. But I gotta look my mother in the eye, and then I have family from Puerto Rico that I gotta look them in the eye. So I can't really pick either or. So just like how my dad abandoned me, I will abandon me being biased. I have two teams. I don't care.
Let me ask you guys a question. So right now the undefeated teams are Japan, Israel, Venezuela, and Canada. And it looks like Colombia. Out of all those teams, it's got to be still – is Japan now the clear front runner in this whole thing?
I mean,
I still think the Dominican Republic are. I mean, they lost one game, but It's just
'Cause I was
foreplay.
gonna say, are we talking about like just from this undefeated group, or are we talking
No,
about?
I mean, no, I'm
in
just. I
general?
mean, yeah, I guess I was. I mean, I gave you the undefeateds just to kind of put out there who's at the top of this. But no, it could be overall, just overall. Like, you know, is Japan the front runner, or like Gonzo would say? I understand Dominican lost one, but they're still kind of the it factor.
I'm gonna put it like this: DR/PR in 4. All right. Me and my peoples, me and my 2 teams, we chilling right now. We vibing. We gonna beat the bricks off of them. To anyone who steps up. And then if they play each other, I don't know. Well, I got some thinking to do when that happens. I got till the 15th, but no, I mean, look, I do think Japan is still in the conversation, you know,
Right.
but at the same time, Canada, yeah, they're undefeated. Who gives a shit, right? I mean, respectfully, I mean, I don't think I this is just me. Kill me if you want. I think Canada could go like undefeated, and they're gonna get stopped in the tourney, and it's not even close. I'm talking about they're gonna get stopped by like 7 runs.
You know what was interesting about Canada? I didn't know this. I just saw that today when they did an article about it on Freddie Freeman. I thought, you know, I seen him in a Canada uniform. I'm like, why is Freddie Freeman in a freaking Canada uniform? I just thought he was all U.S., but apparently his mom was from Canada, and I guess at one point, when he was like a kid, they were at an Angels game, and the Canada anthem came on, and he was sitting in his chair, and his mom yanks his butt up, you know, to stand up at attention. And I just thought it was interesting that I didn't realize he had ties to Canada. I was like, why is he in the uniform?
Randy, I can never say his name. Mike, what's his last name? The one from Tampa. Ozarena.
Randy Jensen?
No. What the hell are you babbling about? Ozarena. The one who's playing for Mexico right now.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it a Rosa
anyway,
Reina?
Yeah, him. He played the last World Baseball Classic. He played on Team USA.
Yeah.
Xander Bogaerts decided to play for the Netherlands for some reason. Right? And I didn't know who was it. Someone's playing for Japan. I forgot his name. There's a kid playing for Japan who got in on a technicality.
That's wild.
That's gonna bother me. I gotta find his name.
Is he Japanese or is he a different ethnicity than that or what?
No. He's like part Japanese.
Okay.
He's like part Japanese, and he got in on a I think it was like his mom. I think it was like his mom or something like that.
How does that work? So let's just take Freddie Freeman for example. If he wants to go play for Canada, even though I think he was born or I think he was raised in California, but yet because his mom was from Canada. I mean, when they go to play for these teams, do they have to show documentation that they have, you know, some sort of tie to that country? Is that how they're able to play for these other countries, even though?
Yeah. Like you have to have proof. Like you can't just join any team.
Okay.
Like
that's what I thought at first. I was like, man, these guys are just joining whatever team they want. It seemed like to me.
Right. Like you gotta you just basically gotta show that you are whatever team you're trying to go like play for. You just gotta show that you are somehow, you know,
connected.
Right. You just gotta show you're somehow connected.
Have some kind of citizenship or something.
I want to play on Team Jamaica.
Could you see Mike on Team Jamaica?
I'd fuck up every team in the league.
Hey, somehow or another, I see Mike Hughes on a bobsled team somewhere saying, "Cool Runnings." All I know is if I ever see Mike Hughes come on a podcast and he introduces us to Joe Boo, I'm running. I'm freaking running.
Damn. I'll tell you one thing, the crowd, the fans at these World Baseball Classic games go crazy. It's like it's a totally different atmosphere than like a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah, a lot more fun.
So when tournament play begins, are there set stadiums for that, or are they like all around the world that they go to different stadiums for different parts of the tournament, or is there a specific spot where they're going to have the tournament?
I'd have to look it up to be honest, but I think it's kind of like what Mike said. Like right now, I know there's games in Arizona. I think some of them might go to Florida, but I think there's just a couple different. I think there's just like a couple different host sites. I don't think there'll be games like everywhere. I think there's a couple different host sites. That'd be something I'll have to look up though, because I'm not 100% sure on that.
Right, because I know like our specific pool is playing here, and then the other pools are playing at different other regions. But I was curious as to when we get down to the actual tournament side of it, if they had an actual country or countries that they were going to host it in. I was just curious to wonder how that works.
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh shoot, baby Nilly!
Because to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure.
Because I think Dustin, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Dustin Reese, isn't he still down there covering the baseball classic?
Oh yeah, he's in Arizona.
Yeah, I'll have to add, man. That'd be a. Did you talk to him Did y'all have the baseball show this morning?
No, I think this. I don't know what happened. I sent the link, but he never responded or anything. So I don't know if maybe.
Dude, I bet you anything. Dustin was probably still sleeping because he probably covered that. He had to cover that 10 o'clock game last night.
I was gonna say he was probably not. He was probably knocked out. He probably pulled a me.
Hey, it happens, man. It happens. I was looking over there at the Pool A bracket between Cuba, Italy, Netherlands, Panama, and I guess maybe that's Chinese Taipei. I don't know what TPO is, but man, that whole damn division is at 2-2. Like the whole division is 2-2. I thought that was pretty crazy. I don't know if it just means that they're all, just that that evenly balanced out or what. Wow,
yeah, that pool must.
But then you go to Pool B and you look at Japan and Australia. I mean, Australia is not that far behind. Obviously Japan's 4-0, but damn, Australia is 3-1. I mean, they're right there at their doorstep. Man, I just can't believe that Mexico kicked our butts.
We're playing at 4 locations. The championship game will be played March 21st in Florida at Lone Depot Park, home of the Miami Marlins.
Okay. That's where the championship game will be played.
Yep. It says, all I'm saying is it says this year's tournament is back from March 8th to 21st at 4 locations.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there you go, man. Looks like most of it's going to be down there in the sunny state of Florida. Maybe I'll see if I can convince the wife, to let me go down to Miami. That's not too far. Miami's about an 8-hour ride. It's not too bad.
Total of 47 games. But I'm not seeing like the 4 different locations. I would say in the United States it must be Arizona and Florida. And then I know they have, and then they might be playing still, because aren't they playing some games overseas right now? Isn't that why we have games at like 3 a.m?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Pool B, which has Korea, Japan, and Australia, yeah, those guys are playing like early in the morning our time.
Taichung, Tokyo, Phoenix, and Miami will be the 4 host cities for the 2023 Baseball Classic. So they got 2 foreign cities and 2 for
the tournament side of life.
I don't know. That just says for the World Baseball Classic. That didn't say if it was the tournament or the.
Oh wow! Well, that's interesting. Because you got to think too, man. When they get to that tournament round, Gonzo, if they were to have, let's say, certain cities in the U.S. that they're going to play in, and God forbid if they have to go abroad and go play over there. I mean, that's a lot of flight time. That's a lot of time where you're all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Bob. Okay, Dustin, you could have been a little bit more original than that.
Hi, Jay.
But I do like the fact that you chose the name Bob. That way, if you're dyslexic, you can still spell that name.
Are you making fun of me for being dyslexic?
No, not at all. I'm saying it's actually ingenious and actually very well thought out that you were cognizant enough to use a name like Bob so that no matter what, they know who you are.
Exactly.
I'm just saying it's that I actually called you a genius, to be honest with you.
Hey, Dustin.
So Dustin, you're down there, Dustin. You were down there in Arizona covering this baseball classic, and me and Gonzo, I want you to shed some light. I'm going to assume that you're down there that you actually went and saw the Mexico-U.S. game, correct?
I saw the Mexico game yesterday. I was at the Great Britain game Saturday, and then I'll be at Canada tonight, and then Colombia Wednesday because they have Tuesday off.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Let me start off with the first question. Since you're down there, what was your thought process when you saw how bad the U.S. got beat? Is that indicative of what we can expect from USA in terms of their realistic chances of winning the show, or was that just them having a one-off night? What do you attribute it to?
Well, first of all, I do want to say the atmosphere yesterday was like Game 7 of the World Series. It was epic. It was the largest crowd they've ever had at Chase Field. So even larger than when the Diamondbacks were in the World Series against the Yankees, they had a bigger crowd there.
Yeah,
I would say
makes sense, right? Because you're right there.
Yeah, and I would say
you're going to get Mexican citizens coming over.
Yeah, and I would say it was.
That's what I was. Dustin, real quick. That's what I was telling Jay. The fans are so much. Because I'll be honest, this is the first I've watched more World Baseball Classic this year than I have in the past, and the fans are so much louder, and I don't know, just it's a whole different more rowdy atmosphere than what you see like at a Major League Baseball game.
Yeah, and I would say yesterday was probably 36, maybe 37,000 U.S. fans and 31,000 Mexico fans, so it was pretty much an even split yesterday, which makes sense, and I think it's going to be pretty close to an even split tonight too, because they do have a lot of the people from Canada that come down to Arizona during the winter to get away from the Canadian winter that retire down in Arizona. So you're going to have quite a bit of Canadian fans in attendance tonight also. But even going back to that first game against Great Britain, USA has been a disappointment so far.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, they did beat Great Britain 6-2, but yeah. Great Britain had chances to win that game. And if Kyle Schwarber doesn't hit that 3-run home run, Great Britain probably does win that game. So, I mean, yesterday I think was the reality check that the United States needed. Just to be like, yes, you may be the defending champions, but the teams that you're playing aren't just going to lay over and die just because it says USA across your chest. This is the first time that you've entered the World Baseball Classic as the hunted, and you need to get used to being that role, and I don't think the Americans have been able to adjust to that. But the biggest concern right now is for the Americans is you have to wonder if they're even going to make it out of their group. Because not only are they 1-1 and tied with Mexico right now, Mexico has the tiebreaker over the U.S. in case they end up in a tie.
Right.
Team Canada realistically looks like the best team in that bracket right now. They beat Great Britain 18-6, a team that U.S. only beat 6-2.
Oh, I know. I was just talking about how Canada crushed them. So you think right now that in Pool C that Canada is the number or is the favorite in that pool?
Yeah, I think Canada is the favorite to come out of that group. Right. And then the other problem is Colombia always gives the American fits. And last time
let me backtrack real quick. Let me go. I want to kind of dive more into U.S. since you're there. When we look at that team, like we were talking about earlier with Mike and Pride and them, the American side of the hitting, they got some really good stars over there. But when we look at the pitching side of it, the pitching side just doesn't. And I think that's the Achilles heel of this team is their pitching. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people said that the Americans had the best lineup in the World Baseball Classic, and I said I disagreed right away. I said they were probably the third or the fourth best lineup because you look at the lineup that the Dominican Republic have, you look at the lineup that Puerto Rico has, and then you can even look at the lineup that Japan has because Japan's lineup has been absolutely mashing.
Right.
You can't sit here and tell me that the Americans have the best lineup when they've scored a total of 11 runs in 2 games, and Japan was averaging 10 runs per game. So pitching is, to me, the biggest problem. And the other issue is you have the 65 pitch count right now. So you might only get 3 innings out of your starter, maybe 4.
Right.
And then what are you going to do? And I think that's the biggest issue that these teams are having right now, because you go through spring training, your first start, you're typically throwing 20, 25 pitches. Your next start, you're throwing right around 40. Your next start, you're throwing right around 50. So these players that are in the World Baseball Classic right now are still kind of on this spring training regimen where they're following the pitch counts that they usually do in spring training. But they don't have the pitching depth that some of these other teams have, where they have 8 or 9 starters that can give you 65 pitches. The Americans have 4. And if those 4 are struggling, it's going to be a long World Baseball Classic, because Brady Singer last night was terrible. He had no business being in that game in the situation he was in, and that was just a rookie manager mistake by Mark DeRosa last night, leaving him in as long as he did.
Now, when they get to the bracket play, do they still have the pitch count like they do right now?
It goes from 65 to 80 in the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals and finals, there is no limit.
Wow, that's interesting. So let me ask you this. America has American players. We have good pitching in this country. Obviously, pitchers like DeGrom, Scherzer, Verlander, they're a little older in the tooth. They're not going to go out there and play the World Baseball Classic. I don't expect them to. But we do have other great American players that are from this country, better than what we have on this lineup. Why are we not going after the better players?
The problem is a lot of these players have dual citizenship, and they're actually participating for the other country that they have citizenship for, like Marcus Stroman, for example. Marcus Stroman was the ace of the U.S. staff in 2017 when they won the World Baseball Classic. And the year that he had at the World Baseball Classic that year kind of put him on the map to get the free agent contract that he just got. But now he's pitching for Team Puerto Rico, and he's the ace of that staff now, and pitched against the Dominican Republic and basically shut that Dominican Republic lineup down.
Right.
That's the pitcher that we had on our staff last time that we don't have anymore. We had Drew Smiley on our staff in 2017 when he was throwing 95, 96, makes one start, ends up hurting himself and has Tommy John, and he hasn't been the same pitcher since. And that was another young and upcoming pitcher we had at that point. And you can look at some of the position players too. Lars Nootbaar, who was the runner for Rookie of the Year for the Cardinals last year, is playing on Team Japan because his mom is from Japan. So he's got dual citizenship, right, and he's playing in Japan. There's so many players in this year's World Baseball Classic that live in the United States. They were born in the United States, but they have dual citizenship, so they're going to play for that other country, and that's kind of hurting the United States right now because a lot of the players they would have are not with them right now.
Yeah, and there's a young pitcher out there in Houston. I've mentioned him a couple of times. When McCullers went down with injury, we brought him up, and he did phenomenal. His last name is Brown. I can't remember the guy's first name for it's messing right now. But in 2 games that he started, he had a .86 ERA with a 1.07 WHIP, and in 37 innings, he still had an ERA just above, right at around the 2 range. And I don't understand, for a kid like that who is trying to crack our rotation, I'm surprised that, we didn't go after him and, some of these younger upcoming pitchers and put them in the line, because I think he would have did a lot better than what these cats are doing out there.
The problem with that is a lot of times when you get to the World Baseball Classic, the players are committing to this team a year ahead of time. So in Brown's case, you never knew what he was going to do last year until he actually did it.
That's true.
But if your pitching staff's already committed and already accounted for, the only way he can really get on that team is if somebody falls off or somebody gets hurt. But at that point, it's more like if you're available, you are. If you're not, you're not.
Yeah, because
Hunter Brown, by the way, his name is Hunter Brown.
If I remember right, the last pitcher to pitch for, I don't know if he's the last pitcher, but he came in late in the game last night for the United States. Didn't he just get added to the team?
Yeah, because Clayton Kershaw pulled out like the week before the World Baseball Classic because he was having back tightness.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that during the game last night, how he got a phone call, said he got home from a spring training thing, had a phone call, and he's like, why is this guy calling me now?
Yeah.
And then found out it's for the World Baseball Classic.
Yep, and then the other thing too, that's the thing that the Americans have been criticized for the longest time. When the Olympics decided to add baseball back into the mix this past Summer Olympics, the United States basically sent all minor leaguers to the Olympics because the Olympics take place during the middle of a baseball season and they're not going to shut down the middle of a baseball season for 3 weeks to let these guys go to the Olympics.
Oh, absolutely.
Hockey
But do
shut
you think that that's a problem, though, Dustin? Do you think it's a problem here in the United States? Because let me ask you this: we all look. Our baseball is America. I mean, it started here back in the 1800s. I mean, it's our sport. But yet, I feel like, and nothing wrong with bringing international players. By the way, this is the land of opportunity. Please come and play all you want. My problem is I feel like America is losing its ground on its own sport. Like we're like our kids coming up, they're just I don't know if it's diminishing and we're just not getting enough Americans involved in our own sport. But it just seems like we're losing ground.
The problem that I see is we're one of the few countries that cannot play baseball 12 months out of the year because you have to take into account the weather that half of this country
That's
has
true.
during the winter. And that's why you're seeing so many foreign players playing in the United States now because they have these winter leagues in the Dominican Republic. They have these winter leagues in South America where they can play baseball 12 months out of the year. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, maybe I'll go try my luck in the United States. They make the roster up in the U.S. And then when the U.S. season is over, they just go right back down to Venezuela or the Dominican Republic and play another 3-4 months. We don't have that luxury. We don't have that advantage up here. And that's why you see a lot of these international teams do typically better than we do in the World Baseball Classic because they can play baseball 12 months out of the year, and it shows. Like
Take a country like Japan for crying out loud.
Well, you got to think
They
like
have
this.
countries just like here. They don't play. They got their winners just like we got our winners, but yet they're foreign freaking.
But you also got to think about this too. You got like what Dustin's saying, them guys playing year round. Well, then when the baseball classics start, the United States players are just now starting to get ramped up.
Japan's already been playing for 2 months in Japan because a lot of the Japan leagues over there have domes. You have the Tokyo Dome. You have like 4 or 5 other dome stadiums in Japan. So even during the winter, they're still playing indoors. So a lot of these teams are already 2 months into baseball shape right now, where the Americans are just getting in baseball shape right now.
Let me ask you this real quick: if we didn't have a lot of these players with dual citizenship, and the United States had all of our best pitchers and best players playing, do you think that the results would be a lot different?
I do. And I think we saw that in 2017 where a lot of the players that had the dual citizenship stayed with the US. And you saw how good that team was that year. But a good chunk of that roster either decided not to play for them this year or they decided to go to another country this year and play. And it's kind of starting to show that as good as the Americans are, a lot of that talent wasn't 100% natural American-born talent last time around.
Frankie C., you're good. Good afternoon. Thanks for being on the show. Your thoughts on the World Baseball Classic, US of A, and all the things that we've been talking about?
Nothing really expected, I mean, USA blew it yesterday against Mexico because of their pitching. I'm not really happy with Team USA, but it is what it is. I mean, it is expected of them to at least lose a couple of games. As long as they win 3 and go on to the next round, I think USA will be fine. But after what they've shown against Mexico yesterday, it's kind of putting into questions like if that happens against Mexico, what wouldn't that would probably happen again to USA on a different level. So yeah, I don't really got much to say. I'm just here to let you guys on some free agency news. I've been watching you guys, and I'm not coming in to change anything. I love the baseball classic, but it is free agency day, and a lot of breaking news just literally happened in the last 5 minutes.
So what you got?
We got Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Raiders. Miami has signed former Jets quarterback Mike White to a 2-year deal. The Bills have agreed to terms with former Dallas Cowboys Connor McGarvin on a 3-year deal. Yeah, a lot of things happen. The Saints are getting defensive line now is poised to lose to three starters. Matter of fact,
And Jones signed with the Patriots, didn't he?
Jonathan Jones did re-sign with the Patriots. Yes.
Man, that hurts though. Hearing that McGovern is signing on with. I believe you said the Jets, man. I don't know what the Cowboys are doing, man. That hurts. That hurts my heart because I feel like our offensive line is just, our offensive line is taking hits, man. I don't know why they decided to extend Tyrone Smith. The son of a bitch can't stay on the damn field for shit, but yet you let McGovern go in free agency. I don't understand the world that I live in right now.
Well, the Chiefs just lost their starting right tackle and Andrew Wiley, who signs a 3-year deal with Washington Commanders, so he'll be going back and reuniting with Eric Bieniemy.
Oh wow, that's a pretty good blow to the Chiefs.
Yeah, if you guys are watching and you guys are Chiefs fans, I just want you guys to know: do not be surprised that the Washington Commanders come out and take a lot of your guys' offensive power by offensive linemen. Some backup tight ends.
I said last week that I think Orlando Brown Jr. is going to end up in Washington.
It's a big possibility because you got Eric Bieniemy there who actually coached these guys, and we all know that Andy Reid's not going to be re-signing some of these players. So I do expect that Eric Bieniemy takes some of these players and bring them to Washington and make them into a contender team for the NFC East.
I've also heard that the Bears are going to go push hard for Orlando Brown Jr.
I'll tell you, man, at this point, in the draft, I just pray that I know Jerry Jones is going to want that flashy guy. He's going to want to do something like that. I just pray to God that he drafts offensive linemen. I know I hate to say that, but I don't even know who's going to be available at number 26. But he's got to go offensive lineman. He can't go the way he's going with all the injuries that we have on our offensive line and the free agent that we just lost. I mean, come on. What the hell?
AP says Dolphins getting quarterback Mike White.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Dolphins signed Mike White to a 2-year deal, which is really surprising to me. And not only a 2-year deal, it's a $60 million contract deal. And it's really surprising. So now does that lead into expectation of the Jets actually going full in on Aaron Rodgers? We all know that they had talks. Aaron Rodgers did say soon that the news are going to be breaking out. But what kind of
everything's done. This is waiting on Rodgers at this point. Everything hinges on what Rodgers says.
Jay, you're saying that it's done, but Rodgers can literally just turn around and say, "All right, well, you know what? I'm going to decide to stay with Green Bay."
No, that's my point. I'm saying like the Green Bay and the organizations, everything is done. Everything still hinges on what Aaron Rodgers says. So that's it's not done. I don't mean it like that. I'm saying that the framework of it is done. And now it just depends on where Aaron Rodgers says he's going to play.
Right, but that also comes into question. Why not try fighting hard to re-sign Mike White?
Oh, I know.
Try and find a trade. Exactly. Try and find a trade suitor for Zach Wilson, so that way, just in case if Aaron Rodgers does change his mind and say, "I want to, stay in Green Bay," you have Mike White there. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't go to the Jets now, you have nothing,
they're screwed.
Yeah, you got Zach White to deal with. Or I mean,
at this point, truthfully, at this point, if Aaron Rodgers, and I hope Aaron Rodgers is man enough to come up with a decision way before we get to the draft, because
he said Wednesday.
Oh yeah, he'll make it.
He said Wednesday because he wants. He has to have. He doesn't have to have it done, but he wants to have it done before the official start of free agency on Wednesday, so the Packers are not on the hook for that cap.
And I'm telling you, Soleil, I think he's going to regret letting Mike White go. I think he should have signed Mike White just for the in case Aaron Rodgers does decide to stay with the Packers. I think he lost his really good safety net there. But I will tell you this, if Aaron Rodgers does decide to stay with the Packers, at that point, I think the Jets really have to put a package of picks, players, whatever they got to do to move up in that draft and select, and try to maybe meet. Well, they can't really move up to number 2. Houston has the number 2, but maybe they make a deal with the Colts at number 4. But I don't know if the Colts are going to win. I think the Jets might be screwed on this one, unless the Cardinals might be willing to make the move.
Juan Soto just hit one to the moon, by the way, against Nicaragua, about 480 feet to right field off the back of the second deck.
If only Juan Soto played for Team US, Justin. Justin. Who call him Justin? Bob. Does Soto play for the U.S.? Don't care.
The Texans
That's
are
how sad I am right now about Team USA. If you don't play for us, that's like a dagger in the heart right now because all these other great players are going other places.
The Texans are expected to sign former Patriots and Brown pass rusher Chase Winovich. Having the history with Nick Cicero back in New England. That's actually a good pickup. I remember Chase Winovich. I called him the mini what's his name from Green Bay back in the day.
What position does he play? Pass rusher, edge rusher?
Yeah, pass rush.
From Green Bay? Like what year are we talking about?
Clay Matthews. I called him the mini Clay Matthews.
Oh, okay. Well, Clay was a linebacker though.
That's what Chase Winovich is.
Oh, I thought you said he was an edge rusher.
He's an edge. That's what a linebacker is, because now you have that hybrid position, which is the edge.
That's true. That's a good point.
Where you're too big to be a linebacker, but you're too small to be a defensive lineman, so they just put you on the edge and just let you blitz.
I think that's kind of what they did. The same thing they do with Micah Parsons. Interesting. Wow. Well, man, interesting.
Going back to the Mike White signing for a second.
Man.
The fact that he got 2 years and $16 million, does that kind of leave you into question that the Dolphins do not believe that Tua is going to be healthy?
Yes.
Because you normally would never sign a backup quarterback for $8 million a year. If you sign a backup quarterback for 2 years, you're probably looking at a 2 year, $6 million deal, maybe 2 year, $7 million. The fact that he's getting $8 million a year leads me to believe that the Dolphins don't believe that Tua is healthy.
And they don't believe that Teddy Bridgewater is that guy that's gonna lead the Miami Dolphins if Tua goes down.
Yep.
Which is good because I
didn't think he. Oh, go ahead, Frankie. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's good because in my theory, I think Mike White will be a better backup than Teddy Bridgewater, just on how they both played with their squads last year. Mike White came out on fire. Teddy Bridgewater actually came out okay, but then I started digressing after he had a certain injury.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say I think that the Dolphins kind of showed that they weren't 100% sold on Tua being healthy. Also, is when they picked up his 5th-year option and didn't go ahead and try to get an extension worked out with them. But I now think Mike White was that more.
Yeah, which is probably why they brought him in and signed him to a 2-year deal, because picking up Tua's 5th year, if he's injured that last year, they don't want to go with him the next year. They got Mike White to take the helm while they look for a future franchise quarterback. So that's a good idea for what Miami's doing. But damn, Miami, man, making splashes since yesterday, signing Jalen Ramsey or trading for Jalen Ramsey with the Rams. How insane, man. I hate Miami right now.
But you have to think that Miami feels that they're close to contending, because when Tua was healthy last year, Miami was pretty much hovering right around that 1 seed the entire time he was healthy. But their biggest downfall last year was the secondary, so adding Jalen Ramsey fixes at least part of the secondary. Now they just got to hope that Tua stays healthy, or that Mike White can at least duplicate what he did in his 4 games with the Jets.
I'm going to be real with you guys, and you guys can, honestly, you guys can shit talk me, you can put me down or whatever.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to shit talk you, but go ahead.
Is it just me, or is Jalen Ramsey just not that guy anymore? I feel like
not true. I don't know. Last year he had 80-something tackles. He had 2 sacks. I think he had 6 interceptions. He still had a pretty damn good year statistically, though.
I agree and I disagree. I think he is that guy if he's in the right system. But I don't think the Rams system was the right system for him.
But Jalen Ramsey still had a good year. I mean, there were some key opportunities that he missed on, but statistically, he had a damn good year.
I don't know if he's still that shutdown guy he used to be, but I still think he can be productive and play at a high level.
All
I know is, when I look at this, when I look at them and they're like 88 tackles, 4 picks, 18 pass deflections, and 2 sacks. He may not be the guy, but he sure as hell is still statistically, he's still the guy.
Yeah.
Statistically.
He's going to be looked at as the number 2 guy now in Miami because that's Xavier Howard's defense right
Oh,
there.
that's fine. I don't think he gives a damn. And I think Miami's probably saying, yeah, we got Xavier as our number 1 corner. We brought in Jalen to complement.
I think that's what's going to help Jalen Ramsey too, because when he was with the Rams, who was Jalen Ramsey's up guy on the other side of him that could really help him?
Nobody.
Exactly. You go to Miami, at least you have a guy in Xavier Howard who is just as good as you, if not better now because he's younger. And Ramsey's still not going to be a bad cornerback, so I think going to the Miami system is going to help Ramsey because teams are going to have to pick their poison on what guy they want to target.
But let's come at it from a different angle. We're looking at it from the Patrick Ramsey side. Let's look at it from the Miami Dolphins side. How much more now does this help Miami in terms of competing with the likes of the Bills? And God forbid if the Jets get Rodgers, then how does that put him in? Where does that put him in that category? Some are saying that they had Jalen Ramsey, that could put them over the top.
To me, that's why they brought in Jalen Ramsey, because they already have Josh Allen in that division. They're anticipating that Aaron Rodgers is going to end up in that division. Then you have Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and all these high-quality caliber quarterbacks in the AFC. The only way that you're going to be able to contend is if you can defend the pass. And that's what Miami lacked last year. So bringing in Jalen Ramsey and pairing him with Howard helps them contend that pass.
Let me ask you this question. So we all know that Derrick Henry possibly could be on the trading block for Tennessee. If that happens, if I'm Miami, and Miami was by the way, Miami was one of the spots that he said that he would be willing to go to. Good God, could you imagine Derrick Henry with Tennessee on that offensive lineup? Damn.
I have another running back that I think is going to end up in Tennessee.
Huh? Okay, well, share the news. Don't hold it to yourself.
Austin Eckler.
You think San Diego lets him go?
He's the man. He's asking.
He's demanding a trade. He's demanding a trade.
Really?
He's demanding a trade out of Los Angeles.
He's not demanding a trade. He just asked permission to seek to talk to other teams for a trade. I mean, let's be real here. Austin Eckler is a Charger. I don't think he wants to be rushed to getting out of the door. He's just proven a point for the Chargers, saying, "Listen, if we can't come to an aggrement with money, then let me talk to other teams."
Yep, and he's already.
So what we're really saying is that Austin Eckler took a passive aggressive approach to saying he's demanding a trade. He didn't come out and say he's demanding, but he took a passive aggressive approach.
But here's the thing that people are kind of questioning. Austin Eckler met with Kellen Moore yesterday to discuss the playbook, and now 24 hours later, he's requesting a trade.
So that means he didn't like what the playbook was looking like under Kellen Moore.
Exactly.
Hey, watch this. Welcome to Dallas.
And
welcome to Dallas, baby, and I hope you like it.
The three teams that Eckler has put on his list right now is Kansas City, Miami, and Baltimore, the 3 teams that Eckler said he wants to talk to.
They picked up 49ers picked up Hargraves from the Eagles, and Jason Kelsey said he's coming back for another season for the Eagles.
Oh, he did say that.
Yeah, he said he was coming back.
Well, that's good news for Philadelphia. But again, man, hey, Gonzo, now that they do have Kellen Moore out there in San Diego, how long do you think it's going to be before San Diego regrets bringing him in?
There is no San Diego.
Or Los Angeles. I'm sorry, I'm old school. I can't help it. But now that the Chargers got Kellen Moore, how long do you think it's going to be before the Chargers regret bringing Kellen Moore over?
The moment that Justin Herbert regresses.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Or when the running game regresses.
And that could be the key to save Kellen Moore too, is if Justin Herbert can carry that team.
I think
he can cover up a lot of Moore's flaws. But if Herbert regresses, then I don't see Moore making it more than a year with Los Angeles.
I think what Los Angeles is really going to regret is not moving on from Staley.
That's a good point too, man. Honestly, I just see them having. I see the Chargers going through a lot of the issues that Dallas went through. I think now those issues are going to transfer over to the Chargers. I would not be surprised one bit.
The Kansas City Chiefs had came to a 4-year agreement with former Jaguars offensive tackle Jawan Taylor.
That's a nice pickup. That's probably their replacement for Orlando Brown.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So how do you guys look at the Chiefs, man? How do you guys look at the Chiefs, competing next year? Are they going to get the back-to-back, or do you think we're going to get Super Bowl champion.
Andy Reid is so smart, right? He looks. At the
I've given up
context.
on. I've given up second guessing the Chiefs just because of Andy Reid.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, I agree. No,
He literally gets rid of every single offensive weapon not named Travis Kelce last year. And what does Patrick Mahomes do? Wins an MVP and looks the best he's looked since their last Super Bowl title.
Well, and I think that's a tribute though to Patrick Mahomes and his ability to adapt to new weapons. I mean,
but it's also a testament to Andy Reid though that
it's all of them.
He basically shows that no matter who I bring into my system, they're going to be successful.
He's shown that he can. It don't matter who he has as receiver, he can scheme them up.
Because Marquez Valdes-Scantling was a number 2 receiver in Green Bay who had 1 or 2 big plays with the Packers, was always known and always criticized for dropping passes. Goes to Kansas City, and he has a 1,000-yard season this year in Kansas City. Same thing with Juju Smith-Schuster, a guy who's had a couple nice seasons here and there, but he was never really the guy that Pittsburgh expected him to be. Goes to Kansas City this year, and he comes up just short of 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns.
I don't think you have to be the best at that position to be successful with Patrick Mahomes. I think, he's got the building. He's got his foundational piece over there with Kelce. I mean, that's like the Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning connection over there, or Jerry Rice, Montana, however you want to look at it, or even Gronkowski and Brady. I mean, that's just, you got that connection there, and everything else is just interchangeable parts within that offense, and Mahomes will make it work no matter what. But I still think they have a really good offensive line also, which really is, key for that team. And I think that's the key to their success, the offensive line and the building blocks that they have, and again, it doesn't hurt, like you said, when you got Andy Reid, as your head coach. I mean, it's amazing.
Stat guy, your news had just been broken out. The Chiefs are now officially moving on from Orlando Brown.
That's kind of what I figured. If you're going to sign a guy like Taylor to a 4-year deal, that's kind of the writing on the walls that you're not bringing back Orlando Brown because you're not going to be able to afford both of them.
Which, oh my God, Cowboys, Jerry Jones, if you're listening to me, please.
Jay's trying so hard. Justin Eckler, welcome to the Cowboys. Enjoy it. Jerry Jones, pay attention.
Listen.
Browns out there.
Listen. But you'll notice the pieces that I'm asking for are pieces that we desperately need because our offensive line is a patchwork. And our running back situation, well, you all know where Pollard's at right now, and we know that Zeke's not the answer. So can I please get a damn vowel? I'm going Wheel of Fortune. Can I just buy a vowel, please?
Well,
Patriots
earlier today traded away tight end Jonnu Smith to the Atlantic Falcons for a 7th-round pick.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why it was a 7th-round pick. They could have easily got like a 5th. Maybe it was because of his numbers last year, but oh well.
Chris, so now that we know that Carolina's got the 1 spot and then Houston's got the 2 spot, and it looks like Stroud is going to go to Carolina. I think from what I've been hearing out of the Carolina camp, they're pretty high on him. Looks like probably Bryce Young will slide over there to Houston, which then leaves Arizona at number 3. But we know they're going to probably take Jalen Carter at the defensive edge spot. And then it comes number 4, which I think that's where you guys are at. And who do you think they take? Levis, Richardson? Who are you looking at? Oh, I like that.
I think they're going to take Levis.
Chris isn't ready for draft day.
Chris wants to skip draft day.
He's like in my head, I want to say quarterback, but in real life, they're going to get an offensive lineman.
If they keep the 4th pick, they're going to take Levis. But it wouldn't surprise me if they move back. If they decide they want maybe to take Richardson or maybe Hooker or somebody like that later in the round, which Richardson you can't move back too far, but like Hooker or Dugan or somebody like that you can get in the 2nd round. But I'm thinking they're going to take
Hooker. If I'm Indy, I would take Hooker.
As of 6 hours ago, Chris, they do have the Colts taking Anthony Richardson in the latest mock draft.
That'd be a better pickup.
And I've been saying this. It wouldn't surprise me if they took Richardson because they're going to look at what Steichen had done with Hurts, and they're going to think that he'll be able to maybe do the same thing with an athlete like Richardson.
He
They have
can.
Will, they have
He
Will
can.
they have Will Levis going number 22 to Baltimore.
Richardson has
Wow.
some great QB legs. Richardson he's tall. So imagine you got a tall QB that has a good running back legs. Like he can make him into a really good Jalen Hurts.
Question,
that scares me
Chris, hey, do you guys
is
still
like
got
if
is Matt Ryan? Is he still on your books, or is he officially like just not really with the Colts anymore?
Right now he's still with the Colts. He hasn't decided if he's going to retire or any of that yet. I think the Colts are hoping he retires because it saves him more room on the cap.
The reason why I'm asking you that is, do you think that since if they do go with Richardson, to Frankie's point, could be the next, Jalen Hurts with his legs, his athleticism, his arm, and things? Do you think that maybe they hold on to Matt Ryan? Yeah, they're gonna probably have another sucky year, but maybe it gives Richardson time to develop underneath him.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, they'd have to.
I'll
think
put Matt Ryan on the
Richardson's gonna
bench.
be ready to play yet. That's the only thing that
I would
scares me
put
about
Matt
taking
Ryan on the
Richardson at
bench.
4 is the only thing that worries me about him because his athletic ability is awesome is his completion percentage of only 53%.
But I think that's a part of his game that he would develop, in time. I think that completion percentage could be improved upon just through development.
Yeah, right now,
reading defenses, stuff like that.
Yeah, right now they have the Colts taking Richardson at number 4. They have him taking Jalen Hyatt with the first pick in the second round. Then they have him getting Payne Durham in the 4th round.
Huh. Is Hyatt an offensive lineman?
Jalen Hyatt was Tennessee's number 1 wide receiver last year with Hendon Hooker. And then Payne
need
Durham
a wide receiver. Desperately need a wide receiver.
And then Payne Durham is one of the better tight ends in the draft, and that's another position that the Colts need to address.
Yeah.
Is he a good blocking tight end, or is he more of a pass catching tight end?
He's more of a pass catching tight end.
Hold on. So Dustin, go back to that number 1 wide receiver tight end or number 1 receiver at Tennessee. You said that he's projected to go the second round to the Colts.
At their pick number 35, yeah, Jalen Hyatt.
I don't even think he goes that long, honestly.
I don't either. I think he goes before that. But...
Yeah, if he's Tennessee's number 1 wide receiver, somebody later in the first round draft is going to get a wide receiver. Baltimore will probably get a wide receiver just to make Lamar Jackson feel like I'm going to stay because I got someone at next to me that I can throw to. Don't be surprised that guy go in the first round.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't think if he lasts to the day 2, that'll be insane.
Wow. And then I think Christian Gonzalez, that cornerback, I think he's going to, was it Detroit that was taking him? I think, Dustin, in the mock draft.
For who?
For Detroit, were they taking that cornerback, Christian Gonzalez? Yeah. And then I wonder where do you have Miles Murphy going in your draft?
Miles Murphy?
And I'm asking you that for a specific reason because Detroit has 2 picks in the draft. They got one, I believe, around number 9, and I think they got another one down in the mid to low 20s.
I can see Detroit just signed a good bag. Let me go and find it. Go ahead, Sag.
I can see Miles Murphy going to the Bears at 9 if they keep that pick at 9. Because they're not going to get Jalen Carter and they're not going to get Will Anderson Jr. at 9. So if the Bears want to address the defense because they already signed TJ Edwards to a 3-year deal today, if they want to continue to address the defense, I can see Miles Murphy going number 9 to Chicago. But there's also talk that the Bears might try to trade a bit further back into the first round. And then if they do that, I really like that edge rusher out of USC to end up with the Chicago Bears as kind of a mid to late first round pick because that edge rusher out of USC reminds me a lot of Clay Matthews in his first couple of years with Green Bay, but he just has a never-ending motor and he's always around the football.
I just think that somehow or another Detroit, I think they're kind of okay on the rushing side of life, but if they could really find a complementary player to Aiden Hutchinson and then they find a complementary corner to Okudah, I mean, that defense could be extremely nasty come next year.
Jay, the Lions earlier today signed Cam Sutton to a 3-year deal. So there's Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep, there's Aiden Hutchinson's backup. So now the Lions, all they have to do is draft a really good cornerback.
Which I think they get. I think Christian Gonzalez is going to fall right to them, and then you got your complimentary player to Okuda right there. Oh my God, that could be. Oh Lord, Detroit, don't screw that up. I mean, seriously, if Detroit screws this up, they're just dumb.
Well, the Lions are also meeting with Patrick Peterson today.
Oh really? Yeah, but do you want an aging Patrick Peterson? I'd rather
you get him in there as a veteran presence. Because they don't really, you don't really have that
veteran presence. And if you get him on a cap-friendly deal, that's fine.
You don't really have a veteran presence on that defense because if you look at that Lions defense, it's pretty much all players within their first 4 years. They don't really have that veteran presence on defense.
So what would you do? Would you draft Christian Gonzalez, the Cuda, and then put Peterson in on nickel situation?
Yeah, because you can put Peterson on the outside. You can use Peterson in the slot. Same thing with Okuda. You can put him in the slot or on the outside.
Right.
And then you still have Patrick Peterson as that veteran presence to help kind of those younger guys that don't really have that veteran leader to look up to on the defensive side of the ball.
You can almost make Peterson – well, I wouldn't make Peterson the captain because you got Aiden Hutchinson as your captain, but I would imagine he's the captain anyway.
Yeah.
I wonder how Matthew Stafford is looking right now. Like, he's looking at Detroit like, damn, you guys really
waited
look this good now? After me deciding to leave to go to the Rams, you guys finally want to freaking build a team.
But it still was the best move for him at the time because there's still no guarantee that Detroit's going to get a ring. So he got his ring out there with the Rams. So I think he's happy, but at the same time, to your point, Frankie, he probably is saying like, "Damn, I feel like now I'm role reversal now. Now I feel like the team I'm on is a rebuilding Lions." And Goff is over there on a fancy hotty-toddy, Detroit Lions. Hey, listen, I am mad right now that nobody's going to Dallas. Micah Parsons was out there calling out Jalen Ramsey, saying he's coming to Dallas, he's coming to Dallas. Then he goes down to Miami, and then I see Micah Parsons put out a tweet saying, shaking my head, motherfucker.
Jay, did you know that somebody on Dallas went to Buffalo already?
I don't think I caught that one. Which one left?
Yeah, we said it earlier.
Yeah, that Connor McGovern.
Oh, yeah. I was tracking that one. God, that's still.
And we do have breaking news out of Major League Baseball.
What happened?
Trevor Bauer has officially signed a contract.
Oh, where's he going?
He's going to Japan.
Wow. Well, I guess he figured that was the only way, I guess.
Well, there's more to it.
Oh, shit.
He's going to Japan with the opportunity to pitch for Team Japan in the World Baseball Classic.
Oh, my God.
So if he passes his physical this weekend, he's eligible to pitch for Team Japan in the quarterfinals.
God, I could just see
that's going to basically be a shove it to the MLB move right there.
So I take it he has a Japanese citizenship?
He has Japanese citizenship because his dad was in the military in Japan. So now he signed a 1-year, $4 million deal with a team in Japan plus incentives. And if he passes,
wait a minute, hold on, back that train up just for a minute. I'm trying to understand that his dad was in the military, but his dad was in the military for the U.S. or are you saying he was in the Japan?
He was stationed in Japan as part of the United States military, but because Trevor Bauer was born in Japan, you get Japanese citizenship.
Okay, that makes now. I don't know. He was born in Japan, but was he born on a military installation?
I don't know. I just know he's got Japanese citizenship, so he can pitch for Team Japan in the quarterfinal.
I was just asking that because even in Japan, I've been there. I know he's out there in Yokosuka, and they do have a military hospital where he can be born at, but that would still be U.S. property by government. But he was more than likely probably born in a Japanese hospital, which is how, like you said, that's probably how he got his dual citizenship. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
He's signing with the Yokohama Bay Stars.
Yokohama Bay Stars. I've been to that baseball stadium.
How many years is he signing with
it's a 1 year? It's a 1 year, $4 million deal plus incentive. So it's basically, I think, just a 1 year contract to show everybody in Major League Baseball that he either has it or he doesn't have it anymore. And then I can see him re-entering Major League Baseball free agency again.
I'm about to say, this whole Japan thing is nothing more than an audition to get back in MLB.
For the most part, yeah. And and just to stay in shape because he hasn't pitched in like 15 months.
Well, yeah, that would be that would be
Well,
benefit.
and like Dustin said, to stick it to the United States, you go to Japan.
If he goes,
He helps Japan win that World Baseball Classic.
if he ends up pitching for Team Japan and they end up facing the United States in the World Baseball Classic, that's going to be a stick it to the U.S. move right there.
You think he comes out to the mound and he takes his glove and he goes like this?
I think
That's
he'll
his delivery. I'm just asking.
I think he'll just have a painted middle finger on the glove.
I would put anything past Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, he is. Well, he is kind of a loose cannon. So, and we all know that Trevor Bauer, you know,
he might turn around. He might turn around, and throw the ball out of center field. Never know.
He needs to stay in Japan. Listen, one thing I know about Japanese women, they like that freaky stuff, and he's into that freaky stuff. I'd just stay over there in Japan.
He didn't even get there yet, and you already told him to stay there.
I'm just saying. I mean, come on.
How much is he making?
$4 million plus incentives, so it's $4 million guaranteed, but he can make up to $10 million in incentives.
Yeah, and you know what the thing about that is too. A lot of times in Japan, those clubs will actually pay for your lodging and your travel expense. So that $4 million isn't even part of like your house.
That $4 million would translate into like an $8 million deal here, plus the incentives that would end up being like a 1 year $15 million deal here.
Yeah, he's just chilling over there like a villain. Damn. Yeah, that's part of life. Oh man, I tell you what, that Garoppolo, I think he walked into a good situation over there with the Raiders, though. You know what I'm saying? Now he's got a new offensive coordinator.
Well, he has experience with Josh McDaniels, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I think he's gonna fall in real nice. Now, with that being said, if they get Josh Jacobs back under contract, and you got Devontae, I mean, you got Waller, so I mean, could the Raiders be reborn?
They franchise tag Josh Jacobs, so he's going to be there next year.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that all being said, you know, what do we think of the Raiders next year?
I still think they're not going to be very good because of Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, still on Josh McDaniels.
Well, you know, the thing that people have been saying was that maybe Derek Carr couldn't adjust to Josh McDaniels' system, but we all know that Garoppolo is used to that system. So that's why I was wondering, do you think now that excuse is no longer going to be valid because of that? Do you think that maybe I guess we're going to find out one way or the other, right? At the end of the day. So
yeah.
Well, like Dustin said, or was it you, Jay? I don't know. It depends on the offensive coordinator. We know his relationship with Josh McDaniels. We know he could play under Josh McDaniels. The real question is, who's going to be that offensive coordinator that he has to work with now that is new for him?
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. Good point.
And can Garoppolo stay healthy for a whole season?
That's another point. And let's be honest, like you said earlier, Chris, you know, they lost all of Stidham went and signed that contract out there with the Broncos. So now it is just Garoppolo. So if he goes down, there literally is nobody behind him unless they can find a backup in free agency or draft somebody and hope and pray to God that if he gets hurt, that guy can take over.
I bet you the Raiders bring back
Mariota. The Raiders do have an offensive coordinator, I guess.
Oh, that's right, Frankie. I forgot Mariota is out there. Could he make a reemergence with the Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders' offensive coordinator is Mick Lombardi.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, such a huge guy.
Well, I guess Mick Lombardi. Let me see this.
Mick Lombardi bolstered their D-line with Hargrave.
Mick Lombardi was also with Josh McDaniels in New England with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
So Jimmy Garoppolo does have the familiarity with him too.
Now, TJ Edwards is going to leave the Eagles and plans to sign with the Bears.
Chris, stop worrying about Jimmy Garoppolo's health. All right, just worry about Jonathan Taylor's health.
think Taylor's gonna have a good season this year. He'll be healthy.
Yeah, he'll be healthy. Week 3, boom, ankle, done, out for the season. Damn it!
And the Raiders also added Rob Ryan to their defense.
I do like that pickup, though.
Damn, Rob Ryan, he's still around? Holy hell. How's he last longer than his brother?
Bro, I don't know. That man is old as dirt.
He's not that old. How old do you think Rob Ryan is?
Yeah, he's the baby brother, Jay.
Oh, that's right.
Rob Ryan's only 60.
Yeah, you're right. No, I forgot he is the baby. I think Rex is the older one.
Yeah, Rex is 62 or 63.
And then the dad was Buddy. So yeah. I'm sorry, man. I had it twisted.
He's smart. I'm pretty sure he had some head coaching opportunities back in the day, but he saw what his brother went through. He said, hell no, I will stick to being a defensive coordinator where it's safe that I know I'll get a job anytime I want.
And let's be honest, Frankie, it's not like defensive coordinators aren't making good money, okay?
Right.
So you don't have to take all the responsibility, and you still get a really nice paycheck. And you know you're good at it, and that's your specialty. So why would you ever want to leave that for the where you got more stress, more responsibility, whatever?
Yeah, Rob Ryan has been promoted to assistant head coach and linebacker coach for the Raiders.
Rob Ryan to the Raiders. That I do like that for them.
He was with the Raiders last year as a senior defensive assistant, but now Josh McDaniels promoted him to linebacker coach with the assistant head coach title.
Let me ask you guys this. Like I was telling you earlier, TJ Edwards, the linebacker for the Eagles, now looks like he is going to sign that $19 million, whatever it was, contract with the Bears. You know, where do you guys see the Eagles defense going? They got several guys they got to get up under contract. They only have one franchise tag. What do you see with that Eagles defense? Will it still be good, or are they going to lose too many key pieces off of it?
Well,
they also lost Hargrave.
The comment that just
Hargrave went to the Niners.
That comment that just came up with that CJ Gardner.
Yeah,
he's going to go to Arizona to join Jonathan Gannon, who was the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia last year.
Is it safe to say now that this Eagles team of last year is not going to be so potent like they were?
Well, I don't think they will at all, because I think they're going to lose several defensive players to Arizona to join Gannon, and I'm not going to be surprised if they lose a couple offensive players to the Colts to join Steichen.
It goes back to what we were talking about, Jay, right after Super Bowl, where we were saying we thought the Chiefs had a better chance of getting back than the Eagles because of all the players that the Eagles could lose in free agency because
they weren't locking them up into contracts.
Because eventually the Eagles are going to have to decide who are they going to keep: Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, or the other running back. They're not going to be able to keep all three. So one of those three running backs is going to look for a contract elsewhere, and I could see those guys going to Indy.
Isn't that who it was? Gainwell?
Yeah, Gainwell. I could see one of those three ending up in Indianapolis as to take on a backup role, but it's still going to be better than what they have right now. Then you look at the wide receiver room. You have Devontae Smith. You have A.J. Brown, who are both going to get long-term extensions. But what happens with Quez Watkins? He's going to be looking for a contract eventually. I could see him end up in Indy.
Question: Miles Sanders also is in a contract year. What do you think they do with him? Sign him, release him, try to get a running back in the draft?
I think they franchise Miles Sanders, and they try to figure out who are they going to go with as his backup. Do they stick with Boston Scott or do they stick with Gainwell?
Are you even available to franchise tag someone? I thought the deadline already passed.
He's in the final year of his contract this year, so they can franchise him next year.
Oh.
So I think they franchise him next year because Boston Scott still has 2 years left and Gainwell still has 2 years left, so they can kind of figure out who they want to go with as the primary backup after that point.
Wow. That's interesting. And then, so if Garner Johnson's gone, that gives a Marcus Epps, I guess, will have to step up into that spot unless they address it in the draft. Damn, who do you think? So what do you think the Eagles do with the draft? Since they are losing so much defense, who do you think they take in the draft? I think the Eagles got 2 spots. I think they got the number 5, I think it is.
It's like 5 or 6. Yeah, they got a good pick.
So they're going to take somebody. I would have to imagine they're taking somebody at the defensive spot.
Let's see here.
I would think either Carter or that guy Anderson.
They have what? They have one person has them taking Christian Gonzalez at number 10,
Okay.
the cornerback, which would make sense if they lose C.J. Gardner. That helps their secondary right away. Another guy has them taking Darnell Washington at the tight end position at number 30 to pair with Dallas Goedert. And then the other guy that's consistently mentioned at pick number 10 is that Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois. So
I think if they're smart, they're like you said earlier, they're going to lose Charles Johnson at that safety spot. I think they should go after Gonzalez if he's available at that spot. I think they should take him.
So it looks like they're going to go secondary first and then figure out something later.
Yeah, I think they have to. I don't think that's a choice.
Oh my God! I just got breaking news right now on the Dallas Cowboys.
I can't take no more pain, Frankie. If it's something that's going to be negative or painful, can you wait for another show, please? I can only do so much in one show.
No, they just signed someone. What's it? Let me see.
God.
Yeah, they just signed absolutely nobody. What a time to be alive.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, God.
I tell you. Hey, listen.
Hey, Jay,
I just want you to know, Frankie, because I'm trying not to use like naughty words on TV. You are a Richard, sir. You're a Richard.
Jay, you want to feel even better about your Dallas Cowboys?
If you say something, I swear to God, I'm gonna come to this thing and I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Jerry Jones has announced that the Dallas Cowboys are not going to be part of the initial wave of free agency, stating that the cap space is too tight to make any big moves right now.
Wow. I think that's real. Man. No, I think that's real.
No, I'm sure it is real. I'm sure it is real. Pride, you told me a minute.
Okay, we do have several news in the NFL.
I already moved it, and then I came back, and then we were talking, and then I had to go. So get off my.
Oh, okay.
Hey, we do have some more breaking news in the NFL.
Get off my case. I did my part. I'm trying to slander my good name.
What we got, Dust?
The Jets have now started to talk to the Rams about Matthew Stafford in case Aaron Rodgers doesn't fall through.
Wow. Could Matthew Stafford get reborn a third time?
Nah. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Anyone who goes to the Jets as a quarterback has never rebuilt or built or any type.
I don't know. If it would have been the old Jets, I would agree with you. But this is under Saleh and some of the moves that they're making. I'm not saying they're going to be Super Bowl worthy. Don't take it that way. But I think it's certainly better to be there in New York than it is with the rebuilding Rams.
The Jets will always be the Jets. I don't care how good they look or how good they get on paper. The Jets will always be the Jets.
I will say this: if I was Matthew Stafford, man, you're going from one incredibly high tax bracket to another incredibly high tax bracket over from New York. I would have gone south to Texas or something. Nothing to say. I'm not saying Dallas, Houston, whatever. State tax.
No, you know
try to replace that.
Listen, if he wants to come down there and replace Dak, I'm okay with that too. Because quite honestly, I don't like at this point. I'm not happy with Dak anyway, so it wouldn't bother me.
But that's your boy though.
At worst, listen, he's my boy because he's on the roster, not because I want him there.
You want to sleep in the same Tempur-Pedic bed he has. So come on, Jay. Stop acting.
I bet he does have a nice Tempur-Pedic bed. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, he got a Tempur-Pedic bed, but he got tampons, a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Oh, Dak, man. Jeez, man. Damn. What a time to be alive. Yeah, Cowboys aren't doing shit. I think we're going to draft till we draft, and we're going to be status quo again for next year.
Mike McCarthy calling plays,
trying to get because he's trying to get a year. You see this, Bryce. He's trying to get way early before the season starts, so that way when the time comes of them going to the playoffs and getting eliminated, he's going to say, "Well, guys, come on! Don't you remember back in March where I was just saying, well, the Cowboys aren't doing shit."
Hey, listen. Oh, no, Frankie, I get where you're going with that. I in my older years that I have spent with the Cowboys, I have gone from hope to no hope it just is what it is. And that's the current state of the mind that I am with the Dallas Cowboys. It just is what it is. I no longer have the delusional thinking that, we can still get there. No, I don't believe that. I think it just is what it is. And if we get there, great. You exceeded my expectations. If we don't, I'm not going to go into the closet and cry because we lost. So
I bet you every Sunday you sit in front of the TV off camera saying different shit. The Cowboys win, and you're like, yes, this is the year.
I know. No, I will tell you. In the past, I thought like that. Now, and my wife will tell you, I just say fuck it.
Wait, what?
How long ago in the past?
I say fuck it.
Wait, hold on, Frankie. Hold on, Frankie. Jay, what?
I say fuck it.
Make you think we give a fuck? Yeah. I'm talking to fuck about Dallas. Yo, fuck Dallas, dog.
Hey, listen. It is what it is, man. Damn. It ain't. But let's be honest. It ain't like the Patriots are going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, calm down.
Nah, but you want to know what the difference is between the Patriots?
But you do have a better coach than we do, so
I'm not even gonna say that. We understand it's the rebuild period. You guys are rebuilding and call yourselves a Super Bowl team. It's the delusion. It's the delusion.
I don't know what. Hey, listen. Honestly, I don't think Dallas is rebuilding. I don't think they're super. I think Dallas is just one of those teams where, at this point in time, we stay competitive, but we're not. We're like in the middle. Like they're not here. They're not here. They're just completely here all the time.
You guys have been rebuilding for over 25 years.
We're not rebuilding. That's the problem. If we were rebuilding, at least I could say, okay, we're going to tear down and start over. They're just comfortably being numb. Like the Pink Floyd song, "Comfortably Numb." We are comfortably numb at just being
numb.
Well, the reality of the situation, and the reason being is because most of the fans don't hold Jerry Jones accountable, right?
I agree.
Outside of Dallas, right? Like every year they can have the same roster, and they'll say it's our year. And Jerry hears that, and when he hears that, he goes, okay,
I'll tell you. I would love to see one day when Dallas Cowboys fans rise up, go down there to the ranch where Jerry's at.
Ranch?
No protest. Can we have a small, peaceful, rioted protest?
No, you want to know why? You want to know why? I know for a fact that will never.
It is the ranch. It's in Dallas.
No. You want to know for a fact, Jay? You want to know how I know for a fact that will never happen?
How's that?
This is a conspiracy theory that I've been living by. I don't think it's fuck it. I'm saying it's true. Fuck it. Jerry Jones doesn't really live in Dallas. He doesn't even live in Texas. He bought a property and he just leaves it there by itself. He doesn't live there, so that way, when that day comes, no one can catch him.
Bro, he don't even live in.
And he does. Hey, listen, he does have that mega pride. He does have that mega yacht. So I think he just lives on the yacht, and I think he just comes around.
He occasionally comes to land to have his interviews, but other than that, he's just going.
You know what he does? Hey, he has that beautiful mega bus too. So he's got the mega bus, he's got the mega yacht, and then he just uses both of them.
He don't buy no goddamn bus. He's always on the helicopter. His old ass.
That or he lives in Arkansas somewhere.
I'm telling you, he don't live in Texas. I'm telling you right now, he does not live in Texas. Like I'm telling you, he don't live in Texas.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
No, the internet's lying. It's a conspiracy theory, bro. It's a conspiracy theory. Jerry Jones does not live in Texas. Watch. He's gonna come on right before he kicks the bucket. He's gonna say, "And here's my final secret. I've been living in Nebraska my whole life," and then he's gonna flatline. I'm gonna be there. Like, oh shoot, I was right. Watch,
bro. He was born in California, and he went to high school and college in Arkansas.
I got one better for you. Hey, no, I got one better for you. Jerry Jones isn't a human being. He is a space alien that came down to fuck with the people of Dallas.
I mean,
in all honesty, I think he could even be a laboratory created robot out of Area 51 just to fuck with the people of Dallas. I think either one of those two could be real.
Jerry Jones owns a home in Destin, Florida.
Dude, but you can't hold that around. Look, that man got so much damn money. Hold on, watch this. He like Robert Kraft or every other super high powered person. They got multiple homes everywhere, but
No, but I
Robert Kraft
know.
has one home and it's in
My
Boston.
owner lives in Massachusetts.
Facts.
My
well,
owner.
no, I'm saying and I'm sure he does. I'm sure that's probably, but you can't tell me that Robert Kraft don't have spots around the world that he goes and
No,
chills.
he's got vacation spots. He's got vacation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He got but
Dallas-
I get what you're saying. Jerry
Dallas is
Jones.
Jerry Jones' vacation spot. You heard it here first. That's his vacation
Hey,
spot.
When he goes on
again,
vacation, he runs out
I
to the
have
beach.
said this. I have said this since day one that Dallas Cowboys will not go anywhere until, like I said, we get rid of Jerry. Jerry has to go before we'll go somewhere
Hey,
because
Denzel,
we don't
we
have
get
a
rid of
real
Jerry.
true GM to develop us.
Who's higher than Jerry to get rid of Jerry?
I was about to say, you can't get rid of Jerry.
Death. No, death. Like when natural selection comes and Jerry Jones passes away to go meet the Lord and say,
So you're not getting rid of Jerry Jones. That's him dying.
"Oh no, I get
And then
that."
you're just going to have Jerry. You're just going to have Jerry Jr. running the show, so it's not going to be.
Yeah,
no
you're
good.
gonna-
Well, my hope is that Jerry Jr. will get away from his dad's philosophy and get a general manager and let the general manager build the Cowboys. But I'm not holding that either. I don't. Whatever.
To be fair, for the last few years, he has been campaigning for that. He gets overridden because his dad owns.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. My hope is that when Jerry passes on or passes a team over to Steven, that maybe Steven will be the logical one and actually, hire a manager, hire professionals to rebuild this damn team.
Hey, Dustin.
Whatever.
Dustin,
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
I'm genuinely curious. You're a Minnesota Vikings fan, correct?
Correct.
Are you scared yet of the Chicago Bears?
Not quite.
Not quite. Okay. I'm genuinely curious.
The only reason why I say not quite is I need to see what they do in free agency first.
Uh-huh.
And then I need to see what they do with the draft.
Okay.
Because they do still have that pick that they just got from the Colts, where if the Colts are bad enough, the Bears could end up with the number 1 pick in the draft next year.
That's crazy to me.
And if the Bears are a playoff contending team this year, or a team that, let's just say, goes 7-10 or 8-9 this year and just misses the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they get the number 1 pick again next year, then yes, then I'll be terrified of the Bears.
I would be too, because that's a hell of a lot of draft capital to put a hell of 5-teamer. I mean, honestly,
going off of that, they have all the draft capital in the world they need right now to make a big season trade.
Yeah.
Whether it's for a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, whether it's for a high-quality playmaker on either side of the ball, the Bears have enough draft capital where they can go and get somebody that's about to hit free agency and then sign them to an extension so they don't reach free agency.
And they have a lot.
What do they do with David Montgomery now that he's a free agency? Do they try to make another bid on him, or do they just let him go? And
they plan to let him walk, and their goal is to try to get Bijan Robinson in round 2.
Do you think Robinson makes it to round 2?
I do, because there's not a lot of teams that need a running back in the first round.
True. I was really about to say he only gets there not because he's not talented enough, but just because I don't think anybody ever they're not going to look for him. Really.
Yeah, that position is truly not really in need, so I can see that.
Right. If anything, if Chicago doesn't touch him, he's probably going to fall to like the 3rd round, and it has nothing to do with him. It's just right now the position not that hot of a commodity at the moment.
My question is, now that Adam Thielen is no longer with the Vikings, and we know that Adam Thielen has lost a step, and he is a little older in the tooth, does anybody pick up Adam, or does Adam just kind of fade out at this point?
For one, Damian, shut your freaking mouth, because Delvin Cook is still in Minnesota.
I was about to say.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, so whatever. Adam Thielen is a 33-year-old, 11-year veteran who's injury-prone and lost a step, so they can let him leave. Minnesota's top priority is to re-sign Justin Jefferson. Their top priority is to re-sign T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson gave Minnesota more production than Adam Thielen gave Minnesota last year. So, yes, Adam Thielen can go away and sign with somebody else. If Delvin Cook doesn't want to take a pay cut, Minnesota can trade Delvin Cook too. I'm perfectly happy with rolling.
You know who's number 3? You know who's number 3 in catches in Vikings history is Adam Thielen. I didn't realize.
He's been there for 10 years.
Yeah, I didn't realize he had been there that long, but yeah.
And let's be honest here, he was their number one until he started falling off, and they got.
He was their number one until Stephon Diggs came on, and then once Diggs left, it was Justin Jefferson.
Right.
It's nothing against Adam Thielen.
So again, where do you think Thielen fades out to no man's land, or do you think another team will take an option?
Somebody's going to get him.
Someone's going to take him because he's a very good number 2, and he can be a very good number 3. He's not going to be number 1 anymore, so he's not going to get number 1 money.
Me and Brian have been sending a lot of emails and messages to both Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick.
I'm telling you right now, I think he gets a 2-year deal. I don't think he goes crazy. Right, but I think he gets a 2-year, probably in the area of $30 million. Maybe they give him 15 each. They give him a guaranteed. Let's say he gets a guaranteed 17. The rest are incentive. I think that's a solid deal for him. There's no way he falls to the wayside because he's still
I would love
good.
for him to go to the Bears.
Yeah, but that's another opportunity. That's another thing too. Have DJ Moore be your number 1. You got Adam Thielen as your number 2, and then you got I'm not even mentioning Chase Claypool. In my opinion, he's not even on the freaking depth chart.
I know, bro. I'm trying to tell Mike, get off that Chase Claypool shit.
He has no choice. He's got no choice. But I mean, for me, I think there is a market for Adam Thielen. It's just I don't think it's the market he would want. I think he would probably want to get paid, have a big contract, like a 5-year contract type of situation. I don't think he's gonna get that. I think he probably gets a 2, maybe a 3-year deal type of thing. But I still think there's a market for him. But to Dustin's point, he's on the wrong side of 30 now. Combine that with the fact that he's just been injury prone lately, like the last 2-3 years.
This year he was primarily healthy this year, but his production was so minimal after T.J. Hawkinson got there that you could see the writing on the walls.
But the thing is, he would the healthiest year he had is when he basically was kicked out of the lineup.
Yeah,
I think that T.J. Hawkinson. Basically, they forgot they had Adam Thielen on the roster. They forgot.
And KJ Osborne came out of nowhere to be a solid number 2.
Yeah, he stepped up. Well, I think it was like week 4 he stepped up, and he's been running with it ever since. So I just think it's a situation for Adam Thielen where I do think he can go somewhere, but I don't think he'll get what he wants. I think there's going to be a moment where he needs to get humbled and probably, maybe even a 3-year, $30 million.
He's not getting $10 million a year.
With incentives, I think so.
Because he was only getting paid $7.6 million with Minnesota.
Right, but if it's a shorter deal, they'll probably front load that money. You see what I'm saying?
I realistically don't see him getting more than $6 million a year.
He'll probably get like 6 guaranteed, and they'll probably give him the rest incentive based.
That could be, but straight up money, I could see him getting like a 3-year 18.
I'm not talking straight up money. I'm talking about the totality of the contract, which like I said, he'll probably get probably 7 a year guaranteed, and then the rest to give him the $10 million would be $3 million based off incentives.
Yeah,
depending on yardage, catches, accolades, stuff like that. So
yeah,
I mean, I do think he can still get like a 3-year, $30 million deal. But there's a legitimate chance it'll be heavy, very heavy on incentives because outside of last year, like the last 3 years. Prior to that, he's just been injury prone.
I just love how Damien puts that comment that I should be scared that Adam Thielen's leaving.
Scared of what?
I have
you got plenty of other stars.
I have Jefferson and Hawkinson this year together again. I don't think.
No, but you got the other dude. What's the other one else? Start with an O, Osborne or something like that.
Yeah, KJ Osborne.
Justin should be scared of the Bears.
I mean, the Bears are going to put up a team though. Now, especially like Dustin said, if they really do well in free agency, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities there for them.
Question: What's today?
March 13th.
Yes, you heard it here first. Chicago Bears winning the division.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
well, and let's be honest. I mean, and let's be honest though. If Rodgers does decide to go to the Jets, and then Jordan Love has to step up, I think that does kind of take Green Bay out of the equation a little bit. Then who do you got left? You do got.
I'm picking Detroit to win that division next year.
Detroit, Jesus, man. Yeah.
I'm picking Detroit to win that division next year.
Hold on, Jay.
Bro,
let's be Detroit? Real, Jay.
Yeah, I'm picking Detroit to win the NFC North next year.
That's a weird way of saying Chicago.
Even if Green Bay wants to still have Aaron Rodgers on their team, the Packers will still be third at best in that division.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I'm not even going to say you're wrong, Frankie. I tend to believe where Dustin is at, where I think Detroit, I mean, if they can pick up those two key pieces for their defense, Detroit's going to be a scary team out of the North, honestly.
Dustin, I got some news for you, Dustin. The Vikings have agreed to terms with tight end Josh Olave.
Can't even say his name. That's crazy. Anyways,
What's his name?
Chicago here smoking a pack, bro. We smoking a pack, bro. We don't even care. We don't even care. Minnesota bums. Detroit bums. Packers bums. Get out of here. That's right.
Are you done?
I'm a Chicago Bears fan for this year.
He's like, no, I'm not done. I'm just getting started.
Yo, Chris, what's your team again?
Colts.
Bums. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Chicago versus the world, yo. Chicago Bears more specifically, because Justin Fields, that's my boy. That's my boy. You feel me? I'll be dapping him.
No, but seriously, hey, Gonzo, let me ask you this. How do you feel about the Colts in this draft? You guys are at 4. I mean, are they going to make the right decisions? I mean, how do you think about this?
They're either going to take Levis or Richardson, and we'll see what happens from there. But they got, I mean, they need a quarterback, but they have holes at offensive line, receivers. I mean, they got a lot of different places.
You know, honestly, I'm really glad you didn't do like what Carolina did. And I'm not, trying to just Carolina, but I'm glad you guys didn't give up the farm this year. I thought if you were going to give up the farm, I thought Caleb Williams next year would have been a good opportunity. And you may not even have to give up the farm. If you guys actually suck really bad next year, you may not have to give up. You may just naturally get Caleb Williams right off the rip. But at the end of the day, I think Caleb Williams is more – if you're going to give up the farm, that's more of a quarterback I'd give up the farm for.
Well, I like next year's quarterback class better with Williams and May and them guys coming out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Derek May out of North Carolina. Yeah.
Spencer Rattler. You guys remember him?
Yeah. Out there in South Carolina, baby. But I don't know if Rattler – I mean, Pride, what's your thought on Rattler? I mean, like, how good do you
I've been saying this forever. He's mid.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And Dustin, that's why I was saying that I wanted you to
God, it's like you just hit the clitoris on Dustin or something.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
Oh, my God. Justin Jefferson. Woo-hoo. Justin Jefferson. The number one – oh, my God. Oh, my God. Holy hell.
Dustin about to catch aneurysm. He don't know what to do right now. No. See, and this is what I hate about people. Why are we disrespecting Kirk Cousins?
I mean, let's see. Kirk Cousins fourth in the NFL in yardage the last 3 years. Third in the NFL in touchdown passes the last 3 years. Second in the NFL in completion percentage the last 3 years. Leads the NFL with 13 fourth-quarter come-from-behind victories the last 2 years, with 9 of them coming last year.
Nah, bro. He's not Jamar Chase, though.
Cousins is definitely not the issue in Minnesota.
Hey, real quick. Hey, Anthony Price said, he said Cowboys top 15 pick next year. I hope so. Yeah. I really do. I hope we can crack that top 15 somewhere.
The Buccaneers might be signing a new quarterback.
Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
That's my boy right there. See, imagine that.
Wait. What'd you just say about Baker?
Baker Mayfield's flying to Tampa Bay tomorrow to meet with Tampa Bay.
Let that sink in. Close your eyes. You go from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield. Your franchise is in good hands.
Now, I will say this, Pride. I will say this. If you are Baker Mayfield, and, obviously we know Baker's taking a huge dump down, but then you get weapons like Godwin, Jones, and Mike Evans. No, what I'm saying is it possible that he could just be nothing more than a game manager, but be a good game manager and do something with that?
It's possible that he could be a bum.
No, I get that because my theory is with this. If he does, in fact, sign with Tampa, and if he can't do anything with that Tampa team, then I got to imagine that he is just done in the NFL. I don't know. Because he's had so many opportunities to do
why do we blame it on the quarterback when we should be blaming it on Todd Bowles?
I mean, I'm blaming it more on injuries because you also got to remember, like, you got key guys going down. Like, think about it. Tom Brady was with them last year and they were under 500, right?
Right.
So it's like.
Well, that's true, though. That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying? So now you get Baker Mayfield in there, and it's like you still got virtually the same cast, right? The same pivotal guys are getting hurt. So it's a situation where it's like, unless Baker Mayfield is bringing a secret where they won't ever get hurt, Tampa might as well just blow it up. Trade Evans, trade Godwin.
That's
trade
what I was
Fournette.
thinking. Are we now at the point where they just got to blow it up and start over?
I mean, think about it. They did.
I mean, that's a good point.
Like they did what the Rams did before the Rams did it. They went all in on 1 year, won it. Congratulations. But ever since then, they've been like at least 2 steps behind. So now it's a situation. Now that Tom is gone, you might as well just shrug your shoulders and just blow it all up and just and now move on to the next generation where you're gonna have a couple bad years. See if you can find a quarterback through the draft and go from there, right? But
the reason why Tampa Bay would bring in Baker Mayfield is potentially for exactly what Pride said. They can put themselves in the running for Caleb Williams then.
You hold on. Baker Goatfield. Let's respect them. Let's put some respect on his name.
So going back to Damien's comment before I just forget that Damien. Before
You can't let it go.
Hey, you ain't get off that damn easy, David.
Do you realize that Justin Jefferson single-handedly had more receiving yards than your entire Bears wide receiver room last year?
Dustin.
Your Bears wide receiver room last year had 1,400 yards receiving. Justin Jefferson had 1,890. Let that sink in, Damien.
No. Dustin, I want you to understand. Dustin, I want you to put this in perspective. You seriously are engaging a guy who was on special needs.
Leave him. Dustin,
he's not on special needs.
No. I'm saying you're arguing right now with
Damien.
Damien. You know Damien's special needs. Come on.
No, he's not special needs. Special needs wouldn't even take Damien.
Oh, damn.
Special needs would kick Damien to the curb and tell him to get bent.
Real quick, before I go, Aaron Rodgers is being traded to the Jets, according to Don Kleiman out of Green Bay. They're just waiting. It says it's done. They're just waiting on the details to come out.
That's not true. That is not true. Because I just got news from Ian Rappaport, a true analyst, that said nothing has happened yet. But
Frankie, Chris is right. No, Frankie, Chris is right. I have it on Wisconsin radio right now.
That's not a real source, Dustin. You know it.
I have it on Wisconsin radio right now.
Wisconsin. I don't care. I don't care about the radio in Wisconsin. They're lies too. They're not real analysts. They're radio people. It's fake. All right, it's not true.
Hold on.
Because you're being in your division.
I didn't want to hear what Gonzo said. You said they're waiting on what again?
You just don't have the details of what the full trade is, but it says that Packers finally have a new QB in 2020, first-round pick Jordan Love. And then it says, then after that it said, QB Aaron Rodgers being traded to the Jets.
They're just not releasing what the terms of the deal are.
Corey Davis and CJ Uzama were mentioned in the deal. So the question is, are the Packers getting both or are they getting one?
And this guy sources Trey Wingo. Trey Wingo is one that's reporting it.
It's not real. I don't believe it. I'm not going to believe it.
You know what? It says he's hearing that it's actually that it went through. And they're just
you know what I'm hearing though? Hey Chris, do you know what I'm hearing from Frankie C? What I'm hearing from Frankie C is he's nervous.
About what?
He's nervous that Rodgers is going to the Jets, and he doesn't want to believe that.
It's gone. It's done.
I'm not nervous. Hold on. For one, I am not nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about because I, for one, see the experience of Jet quarterbacks, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be just another next Brett Favre when he goes to the Jets, all right? He's going to be doo-doo. He's going to be trash. I don't care how good of receivers they got, Jay, all right?
It is official, though.
Dustin, question. That has, like, any of the stuff, like the actual trade details been leaked, or has it just been confirmed that he's now a Jet?
Aaron Rodgers is going to the Jets in exchange for 4 draft picks and a player. The player has not been mentioned yet, and Packers are most likely going to get the Jets' first-round pick this year and next year.
Damn, 4 picks for Aaron at 30. Wow. Okay, shit. Okay.
I mean, but I will say this, though, because, I mean, Jay, because you were implying that Frankie was nervous. I will say this. I'm not nervous at all. And I don't think Frankie is either, because where Aaron Rodgers is in his career, he's where Tom Brady was when he left New England.
I'll give you that.
But you still need, like, you're no longer elevate guys. Well, the question for Aaron Rodgers elevating was always there, but he definitely can't elevate anyone now. now you're going to a young core, and you need to elevate. Like it's, I don't know.
They're hoping that he can elevate Garrett Wilson. That's pretty much what they're hoping
That
for.
probably is, but they just gave away 4 draft picks, so it's not like they're going to get a wide receiver of the future, a true wide receiver one to really bring over there to complement Garrett.
Settle down, because Gary's a wide receiver one. Settle down.
No.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
I'm going to put it this way. I don't mean like
there's other dominoes that are going to fall.
I'm just saying they're not going to be able to bring a wide receiver great enough to really bring over. I don't think to complement.
There's other dominoes that are going to fall.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Meaning,
Randall Cobb is planning to go with him.
Oh my
What
God!
about-
Look at that! And yet you got. Oh my God! I don't even want to say anything anymore. I'm just gonna laugh. I'm just gonna laugh at the Jets organization as I continuously do for the past.
who's next? Alan Lazard.
25
Hey,
years.
guys. Hey, great show, guys. I got to go, but Jay's going to close it out.
All right, bro.
Let's
See you,
close out
Chris.
this.
What is it like? Is it like a Green Bay 2.0? What's going on?
Nathaniel
Right.
Hackett is who he actually wanted to play with.
Wow, though.
You know what I think it is, Brian? You really want to know what I think it is? I think the reason he picked the Jets is because the only color he feels like he looks good in is green.
Well, green is the color of money, Pride. I mean, Frankie, green is the color of money.
Well, whatever reason he found, he thought of going to the Jets was the wrong reason.
Well, regardless of whatever reason is, let me ask you guys a question. Now that they are officially turning the reins over to Jordan Love, what's the expectation for Jordan Love? Now, we haven't seen a lot of him, obviously, but let me ask you guys, round robin it, like, what is y'all's and what is your expectation? Boom, bust. What do you think is going to happen with Jordan at this point?
He's gonna have a shitty first year.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have a
Which
shitty first year.
No, but I mean, long term, what do you see for Jordan with the Packers?
It's hard to say because
Mm-hmm.
if he doesn't perform anywhere close to the level that Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers did, they're going to view him as a bust. And that's such a tough rap for him to handle because you can't expect him to perform at the level that Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre did.
Yeah, but Dustin, you have to give this man more than just 1 year. You got to look at.
Oh no, I know, I
you-
agree.
you-
They need to
you
give him
bring
at
this-
least 3 or 4 years minimum before they can say he's a bust. But at the same time, if they make the playoffs once in the 4 years, or not even make the playoffs, people are going to be like, "Well, he's terrible." Well, what do you have to compare him to? You have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that were there for 33 years to compare him to. You can't expect him to play at a Hall of Fame level just because you've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks there for 33 years. And a lot of the talent that was there when Rodgers and Favre were there are not going to be there now for Jordan Love.
At this point, if I'm Jordan Love, I only have one goal. Like for this year, I only have one goal. Don't get benched. That's the only goal I have if I'm Jordan Love.
And if Aaron,
Even if they
Jones
did bench him, Pride, like who the hell do they really have coming behind him at this point?
I mean, they do.
Well,
They
it doesn't
do.
matter
It's-
because I'm just saying in general.
Oh yeah, no,
Nobody's
yeah,
gonna bench you.
I mean, hold on though. Like, if you look at it, if the Jets, the Packers do end up with the Jets' first round pick this year, don't be surprised now if the Packers go for a quarterback and have a backup for Jordan Love.
I don't know about
Just
that.
saying. Just saying.
What
What other
pick-
route? What other route can they go?
What pick is it? What pick is it?
whatever Jets have in the first round this year, which is what, 14?
Yeah, they have the 14th pick right in front of the Patriots.
I don't know. I don't know if they do that. But I mean, even so, maybe you leave Jordan Love, let him be trash, go 2 for, go get a 2-win season.
Well, the
And
other
then
thing,
go
the
next
other
year.
thing that's being talked about now too is if this does happen, Aaron Rodgers is next, or Aaron Jones is next to be traded.
Oh, 100%.
So the Packers are basically entering a full-blown rebuild at this point, where they're going to just try to accumulate as many picks as possible.
Where do you think Aaron Jones goes?
I don't know where Aaron Jones goes, but I know the Packers will get a hell of a haul for him.
Yeah, that's a lot of free
Hey, if
agents.
I was Aaron Jones, I'd be trying to get over there to Buffalo, man. Buffalo really does need a – unless you just really believe in Mike Singletary. I think Jones could do well over there with Josh Allen.
I don't think Buffalo right now is looking for offensive people. They know that they're losing 2 of their biggest names on defense. They definitely have to focus on defense right now, and especially not
Well,
having
that's
their
true.
defensive coordinator come in for this year. He's taking a year off. So if I'm Buffalo, your main focus right now is defense. Josh Allen got the offense under control, no doubt about it.
Wow.
But then again, I don't give a damn because I hope they tank too.
Crazy, bro. Life is strange, bro.
Life is strange.
Watch, bro. Watch. The Bills are gonna tank. Aaron Rodgers is gonna tank for the Jets. Tua Tagovailoa is gonna get hurt. Mike White's gonna tank for the Miami Dolphins, and then that's where the Patriots come to reign supreme again, baby.
Oh,
Under my
Lord.
boy,
Hey,
guys.
you call Cowboys
Under
fans.
my boy.
Frankie,
You
you guys can
call
take Aaron
Cowboys
Jones.
What?
You guys can take Aaron Jones.
Nah, we're good.
Yeah,
I love who I got. I'm good with who I got.
We're good with Ramondre Stevenson.
I'm good. I'm solid over here. I'm chilling. Trust me, boy. But I mean, if we just giving people away, Dustin, if you offer to give people away, Dustin, I mean, Justin Jefferson he never looked good in purple. You feel me? I feel like navy blue's the way.
I mean, the guy did go to LSU, so he's been in purple his whole life.
And he looks ugly in it. He looks trash in it. So put him in blue, and all of a sudden, watch how great he'll be.
I mean, Justin, if you want to give us Justin Jefferson, Dustin, we don't mind giving you the 14th pick in the first round this year.
Hey, just y'all tracking. So Deshaun Watson did restructure his contract. So now the Browns got $36 million and freed up cap space to go after in free agency. So who do you think the Browns go after now?
He
Does it really matter?
The contract like he restructured those accusations. Let us fuck, bro. Get your money, homie.
I mean, it really doesn't matter for the Browns at this point, right? I don't think the Browns are going to do anything next year.
No.
If anything, they're just going to.
Amari is your number one, respectfully.
I mean, come on, bro. Like you literally had a good team last year, and you finished in last place.
No, that's true.
Like really. Like,
well, what is it? Let me ask you this though. Hey, that was
Steelers.
Deshaun coming back after 2 years off. Now that he's had a full off season, he'll have a full accoutrement of games to play. What's the expectation, or what do you think, Deshaun? Will he bounce back, go back to the old form, or is he on the decline? I mean, what do we expect from Deshaun?
Accruement, not accumate. Accruement.
Hey, if you guys go to NFL Network, they might be putting on the Aaron Rodgers stuff right now.
I'm poor. I don't even have NFL Network. I got some ESPN shit. I'll wait.
But nah, dog. Like,
I'm about to smack Damian. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Let me see. Freddie and whoa!
What did Damian say?
He just called me Freddie.
Wow.
Damian, can I?
Hey, let's put that up there real quick.
Damian, can I get your measurements for a casket size today? Because Frankie's about to put you in.
I'm just saying, hey, look, those are some big time shots. Those are some big. I'm really surprised. I'm surprised he didn't go all the way and say Freddie and Jonathan. It's like he gave a partial diss, but he didn't give a full. I think he's afraid of pride. I think Damian's afraid of pride, so he didn't want to go full. He didn't want to go full diss.
Scary. Hold on. I'm not scary though. Come on, let's.
No, you are Pride. You're a little scary. Pride. You're from Dominican and Puerto Rico. That's a scary combination. That's scary.
I'm not scary.
That's scary. Get out of me.
Pride's a Dominican.
Dominican.
Dominican. He's a Dominican.
But to answer your question, I think it was for a 7th round pick. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. We never used him, so I don't even know why we even waste our time signing him and Hunter Henry. To this day, baffles my mind. But for Atlanta, this just something for Atlanta. Kyle Pitts is now a full-time wide receiver, and they're trying to have something out there so that way instead of Kyle Pitts getting quadruple teamed, now he can only get triple teamed. So maybe they can throw him one extra ball because Jesus Christ, poor kid.
What a time to be alive, man. Jeez. I'll tell you, man, I'm looking forward to the draft. I'm really looking forward to the 15th to see even more trades, hopefully. Let me ask you this. How long do you think it's going to be before D-Hop gets traded? And who do you think D-Hop goes to?
I think he gets traded draft night.
You think D-Hop will be a draft day move?
I think
the
so.
same thing.
Because I think that's when people are going to start, like, really – because I think it goes one of two ways. Either A, all the guys are traded by tomorrow, 5 a.m. Eastern time. Everything's all done. If it doesn't happen by then, they're waiting until draft night to try to get the most they can for him.
Yeah.
For me, there's only one or two ways. Can you get a first rounder for D-Hop? Maybe if teams get into like a bidding war and they're on the, you know what I mean? Like now that's actually on draft night, maybe they could do that. Maybe teams are waiting to see what happens with Odell and Adam Thielen. Maybe they're waiting for them to kind of find a place and then they'll make a move and trade. Because I would rather go into free agency first because I don't lose anything. I'd rather go into free agency, get a guy from there. If I can get a guy from there, then I'll start looking and figuring out, okay, what assets do I have? What can I give up, et cetera, et cetera. So I think D-Hop is a draft night trade.
Okay, folks. I got to get out. I got things I got to get done today. But damn, we've been 2 hours in this show. It only feels about an hour and a half. We're going to do a real quick final thoughts, and we're going to get up on out. Pride, we're going to do your direction, and we're going to do counterclockwise, man. Final thoughts, brother.
To this day, it still baffles me, bro. LeBron James is a passer first and is their all-time leading scorer. Let that sink in. A passer first, an unselfish player leads all the NBA in the history of the NBA in the most selfish stat.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Crazy. That's my guy. That's not just my GOAT. That is the GOAT. I love you, Brian. I wish you were my dad.
Hell, I think. Listen, I wish LeBron was my dad too. Shoot, man, damn, he got all the connections and stuff in the world. What a time to be alive.
Stop it. You guys are like the same age.
Listen, man, I know, man. I wish I could do a reverse age. It'd be amazing. Bob, aka Dustin. Final thoughts, my brother.
Don't sniff spray paint as children, or you'll turn out like Damien.
Woo! That's some shots fired right there for your ass. Frankie, real quick, man. In your final thoughts, I do have one question. So I know you're a Lakers guy, so let me ask you this, man. You guys have been moving up. You know, I think now you're into the play-in side of life. Bron's still out. You know, I think he comes back probably right at the end, maybe right there at the playoffs. But where do you see this team, man? Where do you see? What's your expectations for the playoffs?
We screwed the chances yesterday of beating the Knicks to hopefully and potentially take over the 7th spot. We're sitting at the 9th spot right now. But I did get news that LeBron James is trying to quickly come back as possible as he can before playoffs because he wants to play with this team and try and fight to go at least to the 5th seed, maybe a 6th seed, so we don't have to do a play-in. But if you know the Lakers, man, they look real contending right now. They look real scary. And a lot of people have been saying, you know, if they end up going into the playoffs and having to face someone like Sacramento and stuff, you know, don't be surprised that the Lakers come out of the first round as the favorites and knocking out the Sacramento Kings or even the Golden State Warriors or anything like that. So I'm liking what this second half of the Lakers team look like right after the trade deadline. They look real good. They look real scary. Their defensive percentage is looking really great, as you know they're being the number one defense in percentage wise. But you know it's amazing to see what Rob Pelinka did during the trade deadline. He took away some of the people that wasn't doing anything like Russell Westbrook or Pat Beverly and stuff like that to bring in some shooting potential caliber players to back up LeBron James and AD. You know. Then the game before the New York Knicks on Thursday night or Friday night, these guys put up 61 points alone on the bench. Starting 61 points. The bench, 61 points. If they can continue to do that throughout the rest of the season and even through the playoffs, I agree with what these analysts are saying in ESPN and everything like that. This will be a really scary, dangerous team for the playoffs coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to put up a real quick since we're in final thoughts. Anthony Price says, basically what he's saying is, where do y'all see the news about Rodgers? I get nothing. Hold on.
I haven't seen nothing either.
Frankie, hold your tongue, please. Respectfully, hold the tongue. The reason why I'm saying is, Anthony Price, there's a reason why you come to All Sports, All Plays. There's a reason why you check out shows like Unscripted. There's a reason why you go to Twitter at Unscripted Guy, because we give you the news you can't find before it comes out. That's why you choose us. Having said that, I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming on the show today. Frankie, much love. Dustin, a.k.a. Bob. Mike Hughes, Pride, everybody else, man. Thank you. For everybody that Damien, we give you a lot of shit, but thank you for commenting anyway. And, man, until next time, it's your boy, Jay McLovin, and Dustin and Frankie saying, see ya. Oh, also, make sure you check out, switch over to Gonzo right now. He has easy money going on if you're looking to make your bets on the All Sports, All Plays Network. And check us out also on the ASAP Network mobile app, Google Play, Amazon, and also we're associated with Bet Us. Check that out as well. And until next time, y'all have a good one.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same.